Yeah, it's like a doom ray.
Hello, welcome to Bad Science Sunday, where we take a comedic approach to debunking science misinformation on the internet.
I'm
Today,
so sorry for just completely throwing you off
You
for
have
like
done
the
this
last
before,
second,
right?
Maya. Except I'm not.
we've never done it before. You're our first guest ever. Ha! Welcome,
Okay.
welcome. It's Chris from the Daily Atheist Morning Show. We are so excited you're here.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for having me. Okay.
So you wanted the screen thing so you can see the chat. You should be able to see the chat through here. I could be wrong though. No
I
van.
think I do. Oh, I see it. I see it. There we go.
Beautiful.
I got. Yep.
My
So,
internet has my internet has
what?
has dramatically and suddenly deteriorated.
This feels about right.
So I'm gonna
There we go.
I was not expecting that. All right. Well, really quick, everybody. I do
We
want
don't
you to.
need him.
We don't
Sorry.
need him. Screw that guy. Who was that guy anyway? Did he say he was going to start over?
I think I don't know. He was saying that he had some bad internet and then he just disappeared. The Borg cube is here. Pragmatic Crystal. I don't know
Yeah.
Pragmatic Crystal.
No.
That's a new one
Oh,
for me.
what?
And
Nobody.
Salty
Yeah.
from
Nobody
Planet
knows
Earth.
her. But anyway, real
Salty.
quick.
Hi, Salty. Sorry.
Real
Go
quick,
ahead,
though,
Maya.
everybody, we do have two new mods here. So one is Hollyhock, who is her very first stream here with us, and then the other one, we decided to keep our trucker. So everybody knows mods are here for you. I always say the wrench is not an extension of your dick. It is, they're here to help facilitate the chat, and we're very happy to have more help because the channel's growing. I'm going to be at 1,000 soon. I'm excited.
You have, oh, you don't, wow. I thought you had more than
Not,
1,000 subscribers.
I no, yeah, that's just as the world ought to be, but
Yeah.
alas.
Yeah. Alas. Alas. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it
So
shouldn't take
you
long.
definitely do. So you got a couple thousand and then took a hiatus. So if there's anyone here who does not know who you are, what's the elevator pitch? What do you say when people ask you, what do you do on YouTube?
Okay. Well, I'm a stripper.
Oops.
No, I host the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I did it for about a year. I worked it like a dog. Worked it like a dog for about a year, and then I burned out. And I
Mm,
guess I had about 1,300 subscribers when I shut it down.
okay.
And then about a month ago, I fired it back up again, and I was doing okay. Getting some people back to showing up to my streams, and started coming together nicely. And then I started dropping long form videos, which I didn't normally do in the past. I edited them better, and I've gotten more views and more time watched in the past 2 weeks than I did in the entire year that I ran the Daily Atheist Morning Show.
What in the world? That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's blowing up. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, you know what? I think you were, that's kind of weird though, but you were definitely loved because everywhere I went, people were like, oh my gosh, Chris is back, Chris is back. And so, I mean, there's been a lot of excitement and,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Somebody says they can't hear me.
uh-oh.
They may be
Usually
lying.
chat, can everybody hear? How's the sound?
You hear me, and if you
I,
hear me, that's a
yeah,
good sign.
you guys, both of you sound great to me, but
I've,
sometimes,
I've seen it
um,
happen. I have seen it happen where they couldn't hear a certain somebody. So yeah, is this StreamYards?
this is EVMux. So
Oh, easy.
apparently StreamYard up their prices and pissed
Oh,
everyone off. So everybody's running away from StreamYard right now.
gotcha.
We're in EVMux, and EVMux is interesting. I still don't. I can hear you. I can hear you. Everybody's saying you're
Everybody says
fine.
they're good. Okay, they're good. Native atheists, good. I am sorry, Maya. I'm so used to hosting the show that I'm reading your chat. I'm
We
coughing
I
everybody. Yeah.
Okay. So here normally we don't do that, and this is because I have.
I can't. I can. My internet is terrible. I'm sorry.
You
I
can't
don't
hear.
know if other people can hear me. If I'm
We
very
hear
clear.
you.
I can't hear. It's very choppy incoming. My signal. I'm looking at the YouTube though. It seems like my outgoing is pretty good, which is
Yeah,
very weird.
we hear you.
Outgoing good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we hear you fine.
We hear you. Yeah, you're doing good. You were
I
saying
don't
you
know
don't
if you
call
can
people
see.
out?
I don't because we have we stream late, so it's 9 o'clock on the East Coast. We get like almost a different crowd consistently. I
Mm.
wouldn't get through. I just
Yeah.
wouldn't get through the stream if I did. So when you see me like highlighting, this is me acknowledging that people are here, which
Okay.
is gen- generally the best I can do. And you'll see
Yeah.
it happening. I mean, sometimes like there are funny things that I highlight, but most of it
Cool.
is just me saying hi to new people coming in.
Well, you've
Um,
got a good big stream going. You haven't got 1,000 subscribers yet, but you're running like 30 viewers. That's pretty awesome.
yeah, we started our
Yeah.
very first show. I think we were doing like 15 to 20 people. So we've always had a good number of people coming in. So lately we've been doing anywhere that could peak anywhere from mid 40s to 60
That's awesome.
who's on.
That's
So
where
yeah.
we were running about 40 to 50 whenever I shut down the Daily Atheist morning show. It's about in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I will shout out Milwaukee Atheist until he gets tired of me shouting him out and actually comes on my stream. Lawrence is at work right now, so he'd actually have to take a night off to come on my stream. Yeah, I have no money for him. So
Mm. For those people who watch and don't also know, I am also an actor. I am an
hey,
actor. You can find me on IMDb as Chris Black.
really? What do
Yeah,
you
I,
do?
I do Shakespeare theater here in Albuquerque. I've been in several Shakespeare plays, and I also do. I've done stand-in work for James Brolin and Peter Cullen, and I've also done. I've got my own acting. I've got my own. Been a cowboy. Don't want to shoot you over here. Yeah, I'm an actor, so you can go find this stuff. I would.
That
Yeah,
is super cool.
kitblack.net if you want to check that out. No, I don't normally talk about that stuff, but
No, that is super cool. I love it. I
isn't
was
that
really into
crazy?
theater in high school, and then I had a baby and had to get a job and couldn't do fun things. But alas, I'm waiting for the weasel to come back so that we can actually get started. If not, I don't know. This thing acts really weird when I try to do anything with it.
Okay. Well,
So we'll see how it goes.
I'm used to dancing monkey all by myself, so I'll help stall till he gets here.
Okay. What have you been doing all day? Or I don't know. What do you have coming up this week?
This week, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with the show. To be honest with you, I enjoy doing
Why?
the Daily Atheist morning show. No, it's cool. It's just that I might need to move it back an hour just to change my
Like earlier?
schedule.
Or later. So that
Later
it's
in the time.
10
Yeah.
o'clock. Okay.
hmm Yeah, 10 Eastern. Yeah, I might do that. I've just got other things in the morning that kind of need to take up my time that I probably need to be doing. It'd work out better for my life. And like I said, I've been dropping the long form videos. It's been going great.
Okay.
And one of the things do you do long form videos on your channel at all or no?
Not really. I'll like repost
No.
clips from streams I'm in. But maybe a third of my viewers watch those. So
Oh, yeah.
when,
Yeah.
unless it's something, I did a bunch of them earlier this year while I was out of work, just, to try to keep views up or do something. But I don't know. My passion is politics. And
Oh, really?
if I were to actually do like videos as separate content, I've thought about probably the easiest thing to do would be to break up this into segments.
Mm.
But I would probably just, it would be the bad science for the live streams and then probably like political debunking.
Oh, yeah.
Are you familiar with like Jefferson Spatchcock or?
I'm not. No.
He's been doing Pine Creek debunking lately, and
Oh.
I would love to do something like that. Honest and truly,
Well,
he does his all live, but
does he?
yeah, if I were to do it, it would definitely. I want to be able to put the proper amount of thought into it. I would definitely do it as I don't know, like half-hour content thing.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah. What I've thought about changing my show and doing, because I talk so much politics on the Daily Atheist Morning Show.
Hmm.
It's crazy. And then people come on, they're like, why you talk politics? You should be talking religion. And I play this little video over here that talks about how all the Christians are helping Trump and Trump's helping them, and they're oppressing our women, and they're getting into the Supreme Court by working together. So atheists and left-wing people should work together. And
Yeah.
that my show covers both. Some people don't like it. Well, they can go on. But I thought about doing it later in the evening, just doing a live talk show, just to have more and just do solid politics. Because man, Trump. All right, one of the things is that whenever I was doing the Daily Atheist Morning Show before, I kind of felt like it had a purpose. I would get on there. Yeah, we talk about Trump all the time, but we were talking about Trump. Trump was trying to overthrow. He was trying to do well. First of all, he was destroying our country. He was denying the science, killing Americans. He was doing all the things, and I felt like I needed to speak out about it. Then, whenever he lost and he kind of went away, but then he started a resurgence and come back, and that was one of the things that made me feel compelled to fire up my show again. It's the only voice I have, So if I'm going to bash
Right.
Trump, I figure it's a good place to do it.
No, yeah, and it's important to get the word out because, like, holy crap! All right, Weasel, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Everything is smooth.
I was
We're good.
afraid you wouldn't come back. I was like, okay, if
I
this
was
goes
also
20
afraid of
minutes,
that.
we're
I was
we're gonna
very afraid of
improvise
that.
and jump in.
Jump in, yeah.
But welcome
No,
Did you
for
back.
sure. I
bless
would
over?
have called you.
Did you bless
Huh?
it or pray over it? How'd you get it to work?
I restarted my computer.
Oh, well, fine. Do it that way. I ought to try incense first or something. Carry on.
Oh, I know. Maybe some sage. I hear that
Yeah,
sage is good
sage.
at, like, yeah.
I did
Yeah, no.
IT for 30 years. My very first thing is always to reboot, and of course pray over it.
Exactly. Turning it off and back on again. And sometimes you have to do it more than once. This was very famously
That's true.
required in the recent
Oh, yeah. We both
end
had
of
to
the
do that.
world hack or whatever from
Oh,
CrowdStrike. Not hack, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
Off.
I got lucky. I missed out on that. Saw it on the news.
Yeah, my boss's flight got delayed by like 2 or 3 hours, which I was like, only that much? No, it's fine.
yeah. Seriously, like a lot of people were stranded for at least a day, but
Yeah,
good for him.
it hit a few companies and not other companies because of the way that
Right.
software
Yeah.
infrastructure works, I guess.
I do want to thank Ember for being celebrating 8 months as a cultist with us. Thank you, Ember, for coming. And also, Ember, thank you for the raid.
Because I don't want to blow up your show talking about it now. I need to learn about this raid stuff and
Oh yeah, I mean, it's super easy. Actually, oh my gosh, I do want to
y'all
thank
raided
everybody.
me.
Yes, I was just about to say that. I want to
Yeah.
thank those of you who stayed up with us. Was it a month ago? Um, you were doing the 24-hour things,
Yeah.
and nobody else. So it's rare that anybody's like actually streaming when I'm done, so that I can raid. So yeah, you were. I know, knowing that people loved you so much, I sent people over there, and
That
I
was
hear that you got
fantastic.
a couple extra subs out of that.
I did. I thought it was me. I was like, oh, look what I done. I done figured out this YouTube. I done figured it out. And then Maya's like, hey, I got you a lot of subs. I'm like, oh, you did that? Oh, okay, fine.
No, but they only sub because they loved you so much. She was like,
That's
"Hey,
true.
this is where this
They're
is."
wonderful. I have such a
So,
fun time with the people. It's great. Yeah.
no, that's awesome. And Vandy, would you like to tell our guest what we have in store for him today?
Oh, this is going to be a show um about four Mormons.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask Maya, because you kept on saying like four Mormons. Are you
Hmm.
aware that Three Mormons was a like a podcast and YouTube channel for like a
No,
long time?
I do not know
One of the
that.
people
And
on
I was
Three
today years old. I was right now years old when I found out about that. So,
one of the people on Three Mormons
mhm.
is our friend Kwaku here, which is one of the other reasons I know about this. But the channel
Your
is
love of like odd shit knows no bounds.
yeah, I know. Our channel is Ward Radio. Um, I don't know exactly what the ward is, and radio is like not how YouTube works, but that's fine. They have a cool 38.8 thousand subscribers, which
Wow.
yeah, not
Hey.
bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and this stream, yeah, this is totally a stream. I think from 3 years ago has 2 years ago has 6,500 views. So
So I really hope we don't piss off Caden because I really need him to stick around and help tell us, like, is my oh gosh, I have so many questions, and most of it is just, is this a
Okay.
thing? Is this a real thing
Yeah.
that Mormons believe? Because I like, wow. Okay. But oh, and before we get started, I also want to thank Joe, the only, apparently Kentucky atheist, um, for um, for rating us.
fantastic.
That's awesome.
Uh,
No, and
yeah,
I
to
say
be
that because Joe thought he was the only Kentucky atheist, and then a bunch of others came out of the woodwork once he started going live.
He thought he was the only one. Yeah, I'm from West Texas. From that's why I'm in Albuquerque, but I'm from West Texas, and yeah, I know the feeling of being the atheist. I'm the only one. I know the feeling. Ember, if you don't, Ember said something about think you can email me chris@chrismallard.com,
You
and
could
we'll set up.
try, and he might respond, he
I
might
might
not. Who
respond.
knows?
Oh yeah, that was bad.
Roll a
I was a
dice.
bad Chris. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm giving you shit. It's
No,
what I
no, she
do.
should.
Don't.
I should be more prompt. I was just being a slacker. I'm a bad person. I'm going to hell. I'm a sinner. That's why
Ember,
I'm on the
well,
show.
Ember's been talking about you a lot lately. She's been one of the people that has been excited that you're back and wants to do a show showcasing people that are, because she did it last year, I believe, and she helped get
Hmm.
me over my hump. I was in a little bit of a slump, and then she shouted me out along with others,
Oh,
um, which helped get me out of a slump. Uh, Early summer, I guess, last year,
really?
or late summer, yeah. And then, yeah, a lot of people found out about a lot of people, and we're just a big happy family now.
That's wonderful. That's what. Yeah, I love all the people in the. I'm sitting there going, I don't know if I want to do this again. Then I show up in the morning and there's nobody there, and I'm like, all sad. And I look up and there's Ember, or there's the Salt of the Red Earth, or there's the Native Atheist, or there's all these people that, especially the ones that were there. Some of them are new, like Salty. I don't remember Salty from before, but then there's the Native Atheist, all those ones that were there before. And I'm like, man, you guys are so wonderful. Just hugs. They don't let me hug them because there's the butt pinching that happens. But you know what I mean.
I do. They won't let me hug them either, and it's like, Pat,
Beautiful. I
handsy.
heard that about you. Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I heard.
You got to watch out for me.
And Aunt Jer. Hello, Aunt Jer. And then there's there's tons of mice, tons of mice. I I used to something happened a long time ago, and we had like a falling out. I don't even remember what it
Aw,
was.
with
I just
mice?
remember I
No way.
remember what I remember thinking about as I went away from it, going, he was right. I don't know what it was that we had our argument about, or our disagreement of, or whatever happened. I don't remember. I just remember going, he was probably right. That does happen. I say that because, yeah, lots of cool
Oh,
people though. I'm so surprised to see all these wonderful people after a lot of the shows though that we were going have shut down since then.
yeah. A lot of people get burned out. So,
Yeah, like me,
um,
I got burned out.
yeah. I mean, daily that's hard to keep up with. Um, but welcome back.
Well, it was
So,
hard. The harder part about doing the Daily Atheist morning show at the time was that I tried to get a new guest on the show every day. Every day I tried to have a
oh,
new topic, and every day I had to do new icons and new everything for everything. It's just a lot of work, and booking all the people, and that made it really, really hard. So,
yeah. Well, yeah. I
and now
We've
there's
been really,
networks. There's these
yeah.
networks that are working together. I want to see if I can get together with one of them, either get on the
Mhm.
line or, Skeptic Network or something, because there's
Most
just,
people are pretty good I, about saying yes. It's just a matter of like the time slot.
hmm,
Um, and we could actually I think I was saying that earlier, we could actually have probably where more people if we were open to changing and just with our work schedule. So we're actually an alternate, we're weekend schedules. So this weekend, Vandy went in into work on the weekend, and apparently he doesn't get back until like 8 p.m. Eastern. So
That's not an unreasonable time. I got back at 5. That's
I don't.
5:20.
I mean, it was actually 8 o'clock though. I, on the other hand, have the following weekend because it's a payroll week, and I can't change that. It just is a payroll
Oh
week.
yeah.
And I can't. Sunday, okay, so time goes in on Saturday. So Sunday, I really have to look at, um, miss punches and making sure that people have, whatever they're supposed to have on their paychecks, bonuses, the yada yada. Like it just does happen on Sunday because everything has to be in by 8 a.m. on Monday so
Yeah.
that everybody can get paid. So it just doesn't leave me with a lot
Don't
of,
worry.
yeah, like yeah. So, I mean, it's 9:30 Eastern. It just is.
Yeah.
And, we do pretty good. We're usually booked about 2 months out. So,
Yeah. Y'all are.
but
Yeah.
it's every Sunday. It's once a week. So having 8 people, or 8 to 10 people isn't as hard as like, trying to schedule like 10, like
Yeah.
every, like all the time.
It gets
Not that
rough.
there's not enough people in the community. It's just, it's very time consuming, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. It got to be a lot. So y'all have a video for me here. Is that right?
We do.
Yes, we do. We're only
All right.
20
All
minutes
right.
in. All right. That's pretty good for us.
Okay, I'm gonna skip to the
Oh,
parts that just visually indicate that that's where the show starts.
wait
As
a minute.
opposed
We
to
can't start the show. Everybody hold the brakes. Left-handed Jedi has been a cultist for 8 whole months.
Cultists. Is that what you call them?
yeah, they're members of the Tapioca Weasel cult,
That's
and
awesome.
the cult is named after me because of
I'm a
the
benevolent
grace
goddess.
because of the grace of the benevolent goddess Maya. Yeah,
Worship me.
I
I,
understand what's up.
Mine are the damnation, part of the members of the damnation. I actually don't have any
I love
subscribers
it.
yet, but we got the damnation. That's what DAN.
Oh, wait, you're probably what is it, view hours or something that you need
Yep.
to get remonetized?
Yeah, I got to get remonetized, and I've gotten almost a third of the way to that in 2 weeks. I've had some great viewership just in the.
You know what? We stream 2 hours a week and we're over twice what's needed. So yeah, it doesn't take very much at all to
Yeah.
get monetized. Holy shit,
I
Jedi, what
can't.
are you doing to me?
Well,
Jedi's too good to us.
y'all, that's good.
Jedi has gifted um 10
Salt of the red.
people. Well, I'm sorry, Jedi has added 10 more members to our cult. Thank you, Jedi.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Jedi's really good to me. And those went to Borg Cube, 30 to 50, annoyingly feral, oh, for fuck's sake, peccaries
Peccary.
newsletters.
Peccary, yeah, like
Yeah.
the thing they found for the Nebraska man hoax.
Okay. Salt of the earth, Regios, who's too good to come back to the cult. Anyways, Jake, insert clever dapper joke. Dapper inside joke here, Nelson, Mr. Serious, Dwayna Campion, and Johnny and Derek Henrik are all members of the cult. Thank you, Jedi, and welcome, new cultist. Please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your Jedi's. Yes, your Jedi's, your nitties, and your vaginas.
I believe they're called lightsabers.
Those are Jedi's for Jedi.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Jedi gets
There you go.
Jedi's.
All right, we're gonna press play. We're prompt, chat.
Always.
Oh no, it's muted.
Everywhere know about combinations, and world governments everywhere know about, and they know it's going to happen.
You can,
No.
you can,
See,
yeah. Jump over, jump.
Nobody's.
Why are you?
Honestly, this might have funny stuff in it, but
No,
do we
we're
have
not.
time?
We're not. Yeah.
you got a theory, Dan.
I mean, we're already 25 minutes in. We don't need to read their disclaimer too.
Okay, so this guy's talking, and he said, "Somebody's got a theory, Dan."
What is it? This is crazy. Tell us about it.
The theory is that every few thousand years, the Earth's poles shift. This is not a fringe theory. This is a theory that is supported by mainstream scientists, and there is strong physical evidence for it.
So,
Yeah, but this is a little bit
Mid-Atlantic
different.
So yeah. We everybody knows, very well established science, pole shift. However, the Earth does not flip upside down
No,
when that happens.
no, that's not how that
Well,
works.
I mean, how could it? It'd be like a plate, because it's flat.
No, it is
Oh,
very, very popular conspiracy theory.
That's crazy.
People, you remind what you just said, Chris, reminds me of the representative or senator who was worried about building an airport on Guam because the island might tip over. It's a real thing that was memorialized on C-SPAN.
Yeah. Yes, it's just kind of our education system. Just kind of.
Yeah. So poles precess and magnetic poles do flip.
Yes.
But the magnetic pole is not like the pole of the Earth.
Right.
And precessing is not like flipping. And the precession, the primary rate of precession occurs at a rate of 26,000 or so years. And it's why Polaris was not the Northern Star 2,000 years ago. The first time that we know it was called the Northern Star was in the 1500s when it was 3.7 degrees off of the pole. Now it's about 0.7 degrees, and it'll be its closest to the pole in like the next 100 years, I think.
These are the same people who probably believe there's a real pole up there with candy stripes going up it,
What? There's not. So apparently we have a lot of, we definitely have one real Mormon in the chat and a lot of former Mormons who are saying that Ward is a unit of organization, or as Holly Hawk is
that
saying,
makes sense.
it's like a districting, like a ward.
Yeah, yeah, like a city ward. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that what aldermans represent?
I
Aldermen?
apparently I can't not be Catholic, so that's how. If you have Catholic questions, I'm here for you, bud. But
Yeah.
Do I have Catholic questions? Pressing play.
Though, because you just posted an amazing Twitter thread that we're going to actually put on the screen here in the edited version of this, and which you made all kinds of claims based upon this settled science. We know the pole shift because all of the volcanic rock that's coming up in all of the volcanic activity in the ocean's crust shows that there have been pole shifts, some 7 to 10,000.
That is like sort of kind of partially a little bit correct. You can tell when the poles have shifted geographically because, for example, the Mid-Atlantic Trench, which is where all of the stuff gets pushed up, if you go down and take a chunk of rock, you can see the magnetization and it switches, and we can do science on that.
Yes. I knew that. I'm not as dumb.
Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I should have let you say it.
Oh, no, I thought you were talking to them. You're talking to them, right?
I was talking to them.
well, yeah, we're talking to the live chat, but feel free to jump in anytime.
Well, no, I mean, that was my understanding was that they used, sediment deposits and ferrotic materials. Is that a word? Within those deposits over time, blah, 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 blah. Ferric, yeah. Ferrotic. Ferrous. I like ferrotic. Oof, baby.
Yeah, I mean...
Ferrot. Okay, ferrous. But you know what I mean? Yeah, I understand it. But at worst, we might have a satellite or two that might have some problems, some GPS maybe, but I don't know that that's going to cause any. And this Earth is certainly not going to flip over.
No.
I don't know. There are a lot of people saying it will.
Oh, the number of people saying something does actually affect whether something will happen or not. That is
exactly.
True.
Exactly. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. It is known.
Of course. Carry on with your play button. Thank you.
1,000 years. So there's always some kind of pole shift in the magnitude of the Earth, so on and so forth. But you are somehow using this to justify 11-foot Adams, 10-foot Noahs, and 6-foot modern humans. And look at Kwaku like nodding. Okay, so how does this justify all of that, Dan? Just
wait, pause. Quick.
Okay, we'll pause.
Yeah, that is a great time to pause.
What just happened?
He snuck in a lot of shit there.
Did I have a stroke?
Do you smell toast?
No,
Smile for us.
no.
Straight to the camera and smile.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's just things kind of took a left turn really fast.
Yeah.
Would you play that
So-
again? Can you go back? Hit the 5 seconds.
On and so forth. But you are somehow using this to justify 11-foot atoms, 10-foot Noahs, and 6-foot modern humans. And look at Kwaku like nodding. Okay, so,
Absolutely, yes.
so how does this justify all of that, Dan? Just
Wait, pause. Quick.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
that's where we're at.
Adams, 10-foot Noahs, and 6-foot modern humans.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know that there's probably a bingo card there somewhere. Is there?
Polar shift. Now y'all didn't skip.
Yes,
We're still talking about the polar shift caused tall atoms.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Adam and Eve Adams, not
We're
like
gonna call
No, that's what I thought you meant. Yeah.
for 400.
there are bingo. If anyone's interested in playing bingo or believes you'll be up that long, shouldn't take very long to hit because bunch of crazy coming at you real fast. Like if you don't hit bingo, it's only because you weren't paying attention,
You weren't paying
or
attention.
you just didn't understand, the logic.
By the way, there's a blank space because I messed up the coding of the bingo cards, and so there's a blank space. That's a free space. Just go ahead and mark that off on your bingo square.
And actually, where am I at? Doc Dino is here somewhere, apparently.
Yes.
Doc Dino.
Yeah. Oh, do you know Doc Dino? Yeah. Here we go.
I dig
Doc
the
Dino
name.
for $5. Doc Dino says, "Love how you can date pole shifts using seafloor spreading. It makes pretty lines in oceanic crust. Also, should I bring back my show on Mondays? 100%.
Yeah.
Well, except on the Mondays that I am doing my show." Usually I plug at the end, but tomorrow, me, Jay Bundy, Durante Lamar, possibly another Black person will be on Skeptic Haven talking about Black shit. White people are free to be there. Also, natives, Hispanic people, all others. Come and watch me talk for an hour and a half. I
We're
love
all
that.
Africans.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Black shit. Obviously, the Black people are welcome there, but there's so few of them. Do we even have? Are there Black people here tonight?
There's Kwaku. There's Kwaku.
Kwaku.
Kwaku's black.
And very Mormon.
Very Mormon of a sort.
Really?
Of like a wacky sort.
Oh yeah,
Of a wacky
we'll get to it. Maybe.
I don't think like Hayden's
No,
in chat,
seriously.
I don't-
There's so much crazy to
Real
get
quick
to.
before Dan.
Right.
I thought it was established knowledge that Adam and Eve were probably like 10 or 12 feet.
Yeah, it's something like
We don't have time, chat.
We would have missed all of that.
We don't
Yeah.
have time though. We can't
Yeah.
even settle on that. It's crazy. Like this show is bonkers.
It's just common knowledge.
possibly
of
as
course.
high
Go ahead. No,
Right?
go ahead.
as 15.
Yeah, no, they're. No, duh.
Where does this come from?
Duh.
Many multiple sources, multiple esoteric sources.
God,
See?
That's the
See?
cool thing about the internet. You can just say that stuff.
No.
Multiple
Wait, come on.
esoteric
Wait.
sources.
Who doesn't know that the plural of anecdote is evidence? I've seen everyone here say it. Therefore, it is known and true.
Maya, these are like creationists of a sort. The word is evidences.
Oh,
Not
right.
evidence.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
Stupid girl brain.
God's like 20
Oh,
feet
sure.
tall.
She can say
What is
that.
this,
but if
Avatar?
I said that.
I thought everybody knew that.
Where
like-
does it come from?
Well, think about like all art.
So Caden, to the extent that because you are the only LDS person in chat, you are the natural target for these questions. Is this real life? That's a standing question. Basically, on any claim that they're wonky about, let us know.
Yeah, is it established Mormon doctrine that Adam and Eve were like 10, 11, 12 feet tall?
That's a good
I mean,
question.
is that the thing?
Maybe 15. I think they got to 20 at some point. It's
Oh,
the
Salt
fish
says
is
I was raised
this
LDS
big.
and no.
Salt says no.
Okay.
And Salt has a trusty looking face. I trust Salt.
Doc Dino just sent Tap an image of something. Caden says no. All right, it is dogma. No, I mean, if Caden says no, it's no.
Yeah.
All right. See, I've never been a
sorry.
Mormon,
Think
so
about, like,
I
all
want
the
to make
pictures of
sure
God. Like, God's
that
always a
we're
giant.
not. I don't.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're not trying to denounce. Like I said last week, we're not trying to like make fun of religion per se, but you can think logical thoughts and still, you know, be a Mormon. I've actually seen this happen in college many times. So I think whatever you, I mean, I know a lot of people have really strong thoughts on religion. It's not what I'm here to do. We're here to debunk science misinformation as per the title of the show.
And you think that's literal,
See, he
not
agrees with
just.
me.
There was just a silence and Kwaku nodding.
It's them agreeing with me. It's like you
By the
can
way-
believe, you can be religious and believe in science. It is a thing. We just choose not to do it.
Yeah, Kwaku, by the way, is like a personality. Kwaku is the only person on the screen that I know the name of. Okay, and I knew the name years ago. He was a contestant on one of the either the second or third season of Provo's Most Wanted, which is an entirely YouTube like version of the Mormon The Bachelor in Provo, Utah, which is where BYU is. It's remarkable.
It's so
A
many
more
things, Doc.
humble
Real quick,
version
though.
of us.
Real quick though, Sinister Purpose says for $2, can an ex-Mormon help in any way? I want anybody who was raised Mormon to help me out here because I want to know. I really need to know fact from fiction, like what is Mormon dogma versus because most of what they're saying here comes out of the woo community or the esoteric community. A lot of these thoughts. So I
Yeah,
do want to try to
I don't think this is mainstream Mormon.
separate. Yeah, I don't know that we're doing any mainstream Mormons
There are
dogma here.
aspects of it, but they normally sort of take those aspects, some of which are, in my opinion, extremely silly, and then use them as jumping off points. So we don't get our own planets. Instead, we get something even more absurd.
We're like, obviously the dogma is that Adam and Eve were totally real. And they were 15 feet tall. Yeah. So I mean it's yeah, everybody understands or
Okay.
I don't know.
So we're not here to misrepresent religion. We're just here to mock it. Understood.
No.
No,
Bad
no.
bad science.
The part I mean is about misrepresentation. We're not trying to misrepresent what Mormonism is here. That's not what we're trying to
Right.
do.
We do not laugh at religion. We
No.
debunk bad science.
The-
And there's been, I'm sure you're very well aware, Chris, that there are people merging bad science with religion so that
Yes.
they can take away the rights of all kinds of people.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of been a pet project of mine this year to tease those things out.
Yeah.
You want to be, we are in a country that believes in religious freedom. That is great. You are just as welcome to practice your religion as the rest, other people are to not practice a religion. We're not forcing religious beliefs on anyone. I'm not trying to take religious beliefs away from anyone. However, I think it's really important not to merge the religion and the science so that you don't feel like you have a right to take any of my freedoms away from me.
Based on your pseudo nonsense science. Right.
Exactly. That's what we were doing today.
That would venerate things bigger than them as actually physically larger in our depictions thereof. You're saying that's actually how they saw them.
Jesus didn't actually walk on water. The water symbolized the unsteadiness of life and how with Christ's principles we could. No, it was there. All right, I don't just wash down nonsense.
Okay, so Dan, continue, dude. Hit it.
So
we can move on.
the theory, though, is that every 12,900 years, there's always going to be a major catastrophe on Earth. And this is associated with something called the Great Year. So in
Whoa.
Spooky bed hair. Wow.
Isn't it always a great day when Spooky's here?
It is.
Spooky's usually here.
We can start the show now.
There is no evidence for a huge
I too love
catastrophe
Spooky.
every whatever years.
And for the new mods, Spooky is unbannable.
Oh.
Or as Spooky likes to say, unfucking bannable. I'm sorry, Doc. I cut you off.
That's fair. If I were Spooky, I would take that as a challenge. By the way, the easiest way to get banned, Spooky, is to super chat an amount that is too high so that the number overflows and breaks the system.
That's how you do it.
And you just get automatically banned because of the glitch in YouTube. So you should try that. I recommend approximately $500.
Start there. Work your way.
Yeah.
Oh, and Porpoise hit it on the head. Warning: magnets are about to be mentioned.
Porpoise, for once, you've mentioned magnets in a way that I can interpret as being kind to me. Because you're giving me fair warning. And but I see into your soul.
All right, so the Great Year, I believe it's like 25,000 years or something like that. It's about, isn't it about the Earth's spin on its axis?
I'm not familiar with that as an actual scientific term.
All right, let's do what Google thinks.
I thought the poles shifted, if that's what we're talking about, flipped roughly every 80 to 100,000 was what I thought.
Well, actually, you know what? Go back about 10 seconds. Go back about 10 seconds or so. I just want to hear what he's saying.
Every 12,900 years, there's always going to be a major catastrophe on Earth.
Nope, hold on. Sorry.
Okay.
I refuse to do the freeze frame on their Venmo advert.
Oh, no, yeah.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
understood.
I refuse to let you. Wait, keep going, though.
Catastrophe on Earth. And this is associated with something called the Great Year. So,
okay, yeah, and that's when So I did Google Great Year because sometimes Google is good for shit. So when I said, what is the Great Year? Google says about 25,800 years. The term Great Year has more than one meaning. It is defined by scientific astronomy as a period of one complete cycle of the equinoxes around the ecliptic, which is 25,800 years. So I don't know what happens every 12, half a great year.
Half a great year. That is like the time frame at which, if you were to look up at the stars, your charts would be the most useless. If you traveled 12,000 years in the past and you had a bunch of star charts that you brought from modern day, that would be the time that they would most fuck you over. And I think that's a very reasonable way of defining a great year because I'm weird.
So, I mean, yeah, I've heard that, again, in the esoteric community, they talk a lot about the Great Year. I've always known it to be one full rotation, around the equinoxes. It's really important because, you can date the creation of the pyramids by it. And other, other such bullshit. Also, the dating of Stonehenge and, because the sun would have been rising for the pyramids and, when Leo's in the sky was looking directly at itself, and it would have been, around the time that the Younger Dryas ended. And also the time that Atlantis had flooded and the adherents had sauntered over to Egypt and built pyramids. So yeah, the Great Year is really, really handy in the esoteric community. I'm kind of surprised to hear Mormons bringing it up because most religions don't touch it. But good for him for getting this so wrong.
Yeah, I would almost want to repoint out that I don't, in fairness, believe this gentleman represents Mormons.
No, all the Mormons or former Mormons, all the Mormon and all the former Mormons are saying that as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to, okay.
Like all of them.
Because this guy's he's a little off his nut, just even for Yeah, no
I-
offense.
Well,
I
he's
keep-
he's
I
merging
mean-
a bunch of bullshit together,
He
right?
really is.
Yeah. I'm also. His eyes are very pink. I think he's. I'm allowed to say that, okay? I'm allowed to talk about my own demographic that way.
Astrology.
I
They
said
talk about how
nothing.
I share that demographic. Yes, yes. I do.
Living the lifted life.
every 25,800 or so years, there's a change, or the Earth is able to go through the 12 astrological seasons or ages.
That's true.
All right.
And what they mean is that there's actually this local cycle that the solar system goes through where it's able to rotate around different star clusters.
Okay.
And every 12,900 years, so half of a cycle, it goes through the equivalent of a galactic intersection.
Okay, well, real quick,
Galactic intersection.
the precession of the equinoxes is not the solar system going through a different star cluster, whatever the fuck that means.
Thank you.
You know, it's like they can just make this shit up as they go along.
No.
And just use big words. It's almost like Star Trek technobabble. I love Star Trek, get me wrong, but just because it sounds like it should work.
Right,
Yeah.
right. No, he said things that actually exist.
He did
Therefore,
say
it's true.
things. Yes, he did say things.
Yeah, Star Trek had a schedule. Star Trek had to get a show out every week for like a season. I mean, their shooting schedule is longer than that, I think. But I'm okay with the technobabble from Star Trek, and
No, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
So a lot of the times it was pretty good. Like
They did great.
their explanation for warp drive is like a thing that makes some mathematical sense.
I love it.
You have to break some assumptions, but they're very specific assumptions, and you can just be like, science is different in the future, which is going to be true.
That's right. Well, see, that's the whole deal. That's their future and their tech, and when they keep their techno babble, they try to keep it the same. So they don't.
Yes.
Yes, they narrow the confinement beam of the transporters. They don't do it on the tractor beam because you don't narrow. It's just. They probably do, but you know what I mean. This guy here is just making shit up and making it. This word sounds sciencey. This word sounds sciencey, and they both kind of go together. That's what he's got.
100%.
Therefore, you watch our video.
Yes.
Okay.
What happens is there's different rocks, different meteors, different comets, and possibly even planets that are outside our solar system that are going to be flown into our solar system.
Okay, so you said here specifically in your Twitter thread, so our audience that wants to tune in can follow along. This is on Twitter.
This is the medium that we are discussing. I don't want to say that you can't have important, genuine, scientific conversations over Twitter, but you don't have important, genuine, scientific conversations over Twitter that tend to matter. I have genuinely seen a Twitter post cited in a paper. It's happened twice, and it's because somebody did a proof. They did some math that showed a result, and then they posted it on Twitter, and their proof was very easy to understand that genuinely was the first place that it showed up, and you cite the first place that it showed up. That's what you do.
Right.
That's not how science generally works. Thank fucking God.
Right. It's funny they'll poop. You got that off of Wikipedia? Let me go to Twitter.
Well, I mean, because Wikipedia,
No,
you used to be able to
mock-
say, because you used to be able to say whatever you wanted on Wikipedia, and it would just be
not
there.
anymore.
However,
Wikipedia is
since-
actually good, and the
Since
people who
2009, and people, people are still saying this. And Wikipedia changed itself over in 2009, and it's just the lack of
that's right.
the ability, one's willingness to look at things in the internet. I always I've been it always was one of the first things that came up in my search for things that I wanted to know about. But I don't know, maybe it's because my major was psychology, so I was just kind of in the mindset of looking at the sources.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I always looked at the sources. Oh, this has none. Okay, what, on to another source. And then I started noticing that everything had sources and very credible ones. And and then I
Most of
read
the
an
time.
article about how Wikipedia had been turning itself around because they got a new CEO or whatever.
Well,
It's just not that hard to information to come by. And I've known about this for, over a decade. You can too. Google is your friend. Google can be your friend. Just stay away from the mommy blogs.
yeah. Well,
And for
what
God's sake, stay away from the Facebook memes.
right, my kind of point was the people who get their sources from Twitter poo-poo
Yeah.
Wikipedia.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
where I was going.
I'm so
Wikipedia's
sorry. I'm
actually-
sorry. Yeah.
No. Yeah. I'm like, what's wrong with you people? They're like,
Oh,
let me
and I
go
didn't
over here to
mean
my
that. I
Twitter.
didn't mean to
No,
say that
I
was
thought we
against
were
you
all on
at
the
all.
same page with the
Yeah,
Wikipedia
yeah.
thing, for the
Yeah.
record.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
good.
yeah.
We were all like, yes, Wikipedia. Wikipedia
Yeah.
is great. The problem with Wikipedia is that it's too easy for people to just plagiarize it and like use it as. It's the same problem as like with ChatGPT. Well, one of the main problems. ChatGPT has two big problems, but one of them is like it's easy to fake work as though it's not like really your work. And Wikipedia, you can do that. Like if you just copy the Wikipedia page and put it down as an essay, it might be pretty good, depending on the
I mean,
topic.
Wikipedia, I think, is really good, mostly. If
As
we're
a
not
first
talking
step.
about like upper level, like graduate science courses,
Even then,
it
it's
gets
the
a little.
first place I check.
I mean, it's going
It's
to
the
be
first
your
place.
best. It's probably going to be your best reference. But like, if you're trying to understand, like, I remember going to Wikipedia for to understand like the whole Schrodinger's cat thing, and I was like, okay, I might need to go to a
Well,
YouTube. That's when I thought it was too good for YouTube videos, but it
Maya,
really is
okay,
the best
okay.
source for
Maya,
understanding what do
Maya.
you call it, quantum mechanics, and it's simple. But other than that, I think that Wikipedia is a great place to start for a simplistic understanding of things.
I feel
And
like
then
Maya
you
doesn't
start
know
there. What?
I feel like Maya doesn't know that she has a quantum mechanic on the panel, and I feel
Sometimes
Right.
you talk about things that are over my head. Do you remember the stream that you just did with Leo and the entire chat was lost?
I mean, I was
I
playing
actually could follow along,
that's
but some other people were just like, what the fuck is happening?
that too. I blame that on Leo.
Okay.
Damn
Yeah,
it,
fair.
Leo.
They're under Speed Read Dan, and the title of this Twitter thread is Pole Shifts, The Secret of Antarctica at the End of the World, A Tale of Lost Civilizations, Galactic Tribes, and the Divine Biosphere, or what occurred between the amnesia and where we shall go. Hang tight, this is gonna be wild. Let me tell you
It is going to be wild.
What is he reading? What just happened?
I don't know.
Who are these people?
I feel like I was on a, it's that feeling you get when you're in a roller coaster and your eyes just shut the whole time. And it's just like, my stomach is queasy. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I
It all happened so fast.
Right.
Okay, so you say the Great Procession of the Ages takes place over 25,800 years. The zodiacal arch passes through the signs over an astrological circle. We're all familiar with those pictures from our goofy friends in math class. And each procession typically has two grand cataclysms with several minor ones interspersed over each epoch.
No, that's
usually
not
one
what
to usher in a
happens.
new.
That is not science. Like, how do you
No, it's not.
know? Like, we were doing okay. And then it was like each procession, which like is each zodiac sign. Like, we're in the age of what are we still in Pisces? Yeah. So like when we go into the age of Aquarius, we're gonna, be into like a new age, and it's gonna be,
And that happens once like every what
2,000
years. Yeah.
Okay. There's not gonna be a great cataclysm because we get into the sign of Aquarius. Like that but this is what they think.
By the way, if you're playing bingo, we currently have 25,800 years as one square, 12,900 years as another square, the blank square, the central square, galactic intersection, and 12-foot Eve.
So far, so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where we're at.
New sign. So is that why we say we're in the age of
God.
Aquarius now?
If you
Yes.
didn't get a bingo card, aren't you upset now?
You gotta get a bingo card. By the way, you can still get a bingo card. All of those things will be highlighted. You'll know exactly which things have already been called. You can join at any time. I would know.
If you are
I wrote the
playing
website.
bingo, please thank Al Trucker.
Yeah,
He's
please thank
manning
Al
the bingo
Trucker.
cards and like a boss.
Like an absolute champion.
Maybe I ought to get something like that on my show. I was going to do polls, but bingo might be fun for the.
Oh,
let me
like the website is tapiocaweasel.com. I coded it last year, so yes, like I can give you any feature you want.
That's awesome. You.
Or we're approaching the age of Aquarius.
Go ahead, brother. I'll
So
check it out.
that's something that we're heading into.
I thought it had started.
Well, I think we're going to start maybe around 2012-ish.
Yeah, with there was a convergence recently.
2012,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, and
2012 with the Aztec calendar, the end of the Aztec.
Oh, yes.
Mayan.
We all died in
Mayan, I'm
2012.
sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
Don't
Yeah.
you remember that time
I
we all
remember
died
dying,
at the end
yeah.
of 2012?
I did. Yeah, that
Because
was
of
in
the
the world.
neutrinos heating the planet, and they all had to get onto an arc.
Yeah,
On the
that
ocean?
time that I forgot to update my calendar and we
Brady,
all
you-
died.
Did you break it? Neutrinos heating the ocean.
Yeah.
I didn't keep the black ones away from the white ones.
So,
That's a Roger joke.
I'm
That's
sorry. I'm
awesome.
sorry. It's just this is like silly, like Roger. I'm just like, sorry. Mixing up
and
my
that would then
idiot.
mean that as you continued saying every 12,900 years the Earth goes through a cosmic intersection, traffic is guaranteed, and interplanetary crashes are likely. Foreign bodies from beyond the solar system wreak havoc with the local orbits of celestial spheres. Disaster arises from the gods above.
Doesn't it kind of sound like you have him on like 2 times speed?
I have him on 1.25.
great.
No,
Thankfully.
I mean it's fine. I can hear everything you saying. It's just like he is
He
just
does enunciate well.
firing out the bullshit like a man.
At least it's well enunciated bullshit that he is saying at a very rapid pace.
Yeah.
Okay, like a lot of people when they say bullshit really, really, really fast, they slur their words together, and you can't actually articulate, like, see what they're individually saying.
Yeah, no, this is Those were all words.
What on
So-
earth does that mean?
Yeah.
In mythological terms.
Yes, that is a
or
great
in
question.
Is that you,
What the
Hedgie?
hell does all this mean?
Excellent question, Maya.
What on
So-
earth does that mean?
In mythological terms or in
Is
astrological.
that you hedging?
Yes, it is me hedging, but it should happen in about 50 years.
That's why Quaku's out of here.
You're not supposed to say that out loud.
No, Dan's hedging.
50 years, huh?
Quaku's problem is that this guy is hedging. I'm a huge fan of hedging. I hedge all the time. Okay.
No, he said hedging, not edging. And
I-
stop talking about your sex life. Told you about that.
You know, my mom sometimes watches this show.
And she probably doesn't know what that means. I'm just guessing.
What edging means? Hey, Mom,
yeah.
if you're watching, send me a text if you know what edging means. Because genuinely, especially if you actually respond, and I
Yeah.
can read your response on stream, 10 out of 10 comedy right
Pray
there.
she doesn't send photos.
Like, and if my dad is watching, no need to feel the need to type in the chat. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
well, my mom doesn't know how to type in the chat, but she does know how to IM me, so.
I don't need that either.
Hedging, I'm gone.
No.
So what's going to happen though is there's a very good chance that the poles are going to shift again. So last time, before 12,900 years ago, there is strong evidence that the South Pole was just off the west coast of southern Greenland.
If he means
Pole.
magnetic South Pole, that could be possible and plausible. Honestly, the magnetic North Pole moves around enough year to year in northern Canada that, like, you have to, especially if you're using compasses up there to, like, do navigation, you have to keep up to date with where the magnetic North Pole exactly is.
Yeah.
Because
Even a
it
broken
moves.
clock is
Oh, yeah, it moves
right
a lot,
twice a
yeah.
day, right? Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I think it was really close to Canada the last time I saw it.
And part of the danger of some of this pseudoscience nonsense is that they do salt in some real science to make it sound. So yeah, it may have been there, but look at that guy's eyes. Just look at his right there.
This is a great place
Crazy.
to pause.
Crazy. Who are these people?
No, full on. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
just
which
off the
means
west coast of southern Greenland.
Greenland. So that's
Making
the reason why
Antarctica the North.
Antarctica, the North Pole, was just beyond Antarctica, the far side or the Pacific side of Antarctica.
So it's better to
I don't know what that
say
means.
the pole that we now consider the North Pole was
Closer to the South.
then flipped and was on what now we consider the South Pole. Okay.
If you're going to talk about the word North Pole and South Pole without any qualification, then either you mean the like geographic one, which is where we rotate around and where all the stars rotate around,
Where the pole is, the real
Or-
pole.
yeah, right, exactly. Or you, at the beginning of the conversation, said, whenever I say a pole, I'm talking about the geomagnetic pole. Or you say geomagnetic pole. Because you can definitely have an entire conversation where you use the term pole enough that you don't want to say geomagnetic every time because it's annoying, but that's what you're talking about. But that's not what they did. They're I don't like them. Why are they like this?
That's a great question.
And then,
Lead in the water? I don't know. Something.
Yeah.
End of the North was Antarctica.
okay. So you continue to say roughly 12,850 years ago, a comet hit Greenland and created a crater 20 miles wide. The North American ice shelf melted and sea levels rose 30 feet overnight. That's intense. What, from the heat of the comet, I assume, right?
Yes.
And this was
Wait, where did the comet come from? What did I miss?
Outer space. That'll
Oh,
give them.
obviously, duh. Yeah.
And to be fair, that is where
Cataclysm.
comets come from.
So, I mean, yeah, no, seriously. So, all right. So, because of the precession of the equinoxes, comets just fly in and cause floods every 2,000 years. Is that what we're going with? Oh, no. Every 12,000.
Yeah.
You know, like clockwork, because, the comet is on the cosmic schedule.
Kind of like a meteor shower where it comes every year,
Mm-hmm.
So now they're
Or 12,000.
or 12,000, yeah.
Because
Yeah, but like a meteor shower with an invisible comet in it, like an invisible huge comet, because
Yes.
like meteor showers, like those are lit.
Yeah, right.
and they're not catastrophic,
But you don't see
unlike comets.
right.
Not in our experience, thank
Right.
God.
Right. They could get bigger and they could hit. That's kind of a thing. But the comet you see far away. The meteor you just see as it hits our atmosphere.
Ostensibly,
Something big enough.
the Atlanteans were way further advanced than us, and they couldn't stop theirs. So
That's right. Slackers.
Yeah.
Just because they were goofing off, doing all the weed and whatnot. They were weed heads. Again, I can't really fault them for that.
Right? I mean,
the biblical flood, the destruction of Atlantis, and the last time the world.
This is the comet hitting us, caused the biblical flood, the destruction of Atlantis.
yeah.
Soon, right?
Yes.
And this was the biblical flood, the destruction of Atlantis, and the last time the world ended. Okay, you just mixed the Mayan calendar, the Phantom Menace, all right, and Armageddon all into one tweet. And it actually kind of made sense.
It did
No. That is not
No.
the conclusion you come to there.
That's not. Who are these people, by the way? Who's the guy in the Vans shirt?
I don't know.
Because a couple of them look like they're content creators because they got content creator looking crap, and a couple of them look like the guy on the left looks like he's in his mom's house.
Yeah, no, this guy's not a
he's
content. He's like me.
He is their guest that is
there are 3 content
supplying
creators
us
in
with the
troll.
bullshit.
Okay.
There are 3 content creators, and then like this guy.
Gotcha. Okay.
You can tell by the lighting.
And you see Randy wants to say hello.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I said we were chatting in the thing. Hey, Randy.
So I give you credit. Elaborate.
So they're elaborating on the Great Flood, the Mayan calendar, and some other shit that Phantom Menace. I forgot about the Star Wars film.
That's totally that was a documentary apparently.
Very
okay,
legit.
so somewhere in all this nonsense, Jar Jar Binks is to blame.
Obviously.
So what happened was that a lot of ice went everywhere. So there was an impact crater. There was a lot of glass that essentially the rocks melted so quickly that was essentially the equivalent of many, many, many atomic bombs, probably hundreds or thousands of atomic bombs. And
You know what this sounds like?
Yeah, the heat problem.
It sounds like the heat problem.
I too was wondering that, and you know what? Good for them for bringing this up, and not that it will stop them,
No.
but they acknowledged it, and they're a step up from the other evangelicals that don't deserve mention.
Wow.
and it created different tsunamis and earthquakes the world over. And very quickly, what happened was the ice that was then over North America and Greenland, a lot of that melted, and there was a flood.
So a comet
Come on.
I'm sorry. That was really funny what he asked.
hitting Western Greenland, causing
Yes.
rapid, widespread melting of the polar ice caps, you believe was Noah's biblical flood.
I do.
And
That sounds catastrophic.
It would be, I
Sounds
guess.
like it,
So,
that sounds like it would be the most obvious fact of geology.
It
So,
would.
wait, so is God a comet, or did God send the comet? Like, where are we
God's not a
going
comet.
with
God's
this?
God's not a comet. They're explaining something. Frankly, I'm shocked they haven't said the words Younger Dryas, but they're not Graham Hancock acolytes. They're weird offshoots of Mormon weird scientists.
Actually,
Maybe.
yeah, I actually
Well,
had to
actually, just
bypass
probably just Mormon
3
internet.
videos of Graham Hancock explaining how the Younger Dryas contributed to some bullshit, and then this popped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if what these guys were saying was true, then the evidence would be so obvious and it would be everywhere. I'm just saying. Just me. I'm just an IT guy, a nerd, an atheist on a YouTube
You're
channel.
perhaps not the first person to realize that. Although none of those people were in the stream, not our stream, their stream.
Yeah.
It's like, how did the scientists not notice this?
It's kind of scary.
Never-
This person here,
Yeah,
he
it
should-
never crossed their mind.
and he can vote and everything. Ouch.
Chris is trying to piss me off, Bandy.
I don't
Younger
know
Dryas
it,
event,
but
right?
that's my hypothesis.
And
It's the
that's-
Younger Dryas hypothesis.
is that the Younger Dryas event?
Wow.
Called
I
Called
did
it.
not know that was where it was going.
How could
Literally,
you not
like,
know
the
that's where
next-
this was going?
Because Maya,
he
I
he-
was
he-
devoting half of my brain power to trying to get my laser calibration stuff
You
to
were a
work.
horse. He was leading to water.
Well,
So prime.
I
for
don't know
that.
how to drink.
You did. You walked yourself up and drank.
I don't know how to
Younger
drink.
Dryas. You called it. Way to go.
The Graham Hancock's always talking about
Yes,
that
it is.
the
Graham
mainstream.
Hancock. Just who would have guessed that these guys were Graham Hancock fans?
Probably a weasel.
Egyptologists are always trying to avoid when trying to date all of the old kingdom artifacts and so on and so forth. So that's the event.
Yes.
So where the freak is this giant comet? I mean, if a ball from the sky that was metallic in its core and flaming, all right, hit the coast of Western Greenland, wouldn't we be able to kind of just go see it?
So
That's
Wow.
actually a good
Wow.
question.
That's
Whoa.
yeah.
The one part that he didn't include directly in that sentence, but which is included implicitly from the earlier sentences, is it hit 12,000 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
once you add that additional thing, it's a very good question, and it's exactly why we know this shit didn't happen. Why are you like this?
Let's see.
Inbreeding.
two answers.
Oh, he has two
you.
answers to
One
that.
Oh boy.
Why can't we
Is
just walk
shards
up
of it
and
are
see
all
it?
over North America. So
Wait.
two answers for you. One is shards of it are all over North America, and two is it's currently under a mile of ice.
Why do we believe that?
There's a crater.
How would he know?
Wait, wait, is this the part where he brings like evidence?
No.
My
Damn it.
Did
well,
you
okay,
use the E word?
there are definitely parts where he brings evidence. There's not parts where he brings compelling evidence. So, there's that.
I mean, like, but he believes that something hit Greenland. So I mean, you can say it, right? But like, there's got to be a reason you believe it. Maybe he'll get to it.
Maybe. Look at those eyes, though. Again, just almost no matter where you pause, there's crazy bubbling on the other side of that. I'm just saying.
Oh God.
Don't make judgments, Chris. People. They tell me not to
Okay,
judge.
I gotta say,
No one here said that.
our audience is being too reasonable. Doc Dino is throwing mad facts at me in Discord, and saying that there
Uh-oh.
appears to have been a massive meteor strike on the west side of Greenland about 12,000 years ago. So cap on me, I guess. I'm sorry. It would have struck I can't pronounce that word, Hiawatha Glacier, and it would have melted tens of cubic miles of ice. That's a lot of ice. That's a
That is a
lot
lot
of
of ice.
energy and a lot of heat that you need to melt multiple cubic miles of ice, tens of it.
So it was the God meteor that caused Noah's flood, is what Doc Dino is saying.
It may have, capitalized italics, emphasis his, been a contributing factor to rising sea levels during the last ice age and aided in the retreat of glaciers, period. It does not appear to be a major factor, though. So, no.
Wait, so God didn't send the meteor, or the meteor is not God?
No. So what Doc Dino is actually saying is that it does not appear to be a major factor, means that we are really just being ignorant and dismissive of God's influence through major miraculous events.
Oh, obviously.
Because it was a major factor. So all the scientists that have studied this thing, which I totally just learned about just now.
Well, yeah, but scientists just hate
well,
God. Everyone knows that.
I could talk to 3 scientists in my lab and immediately get huge pushback on that. So, I'm going to have to disagree.
But don't they know they hate God? They're suppressing the truth in their righteousness.
I'm told all the time that I hate God.
Well, yeah, but you're not suppressing the truth in your righteousness. You're suppressing the truth in your unrighteousness.
That's true.
Right.
That
Yeah, it's
true.
totally
That's
different.
what I was doing.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing. And it got sticky and ugly. I shouldn't do that anymore.
Heat problem. Yeah, Cade knows what's up.
You're under a mile of ice, under Greenland.
Have we been able to seismically find
We've
that
been
crater?
able to detect it. It's 20 miles wide.
Whoa!
Is it 20 miles wide, Doc?
Is it?
That is nuts.
Yeah, Doc. Doc Dino. Don't leave us hanging, man. It's 20 miles wide, because I'm looking at the crazy in his eyes, and it's not credible.
Yeah.
Honestly, in this still frame, he's not that crazy.
That's
you
one
gotta,
of the.
you gotta look in his eyes.
That being
there.
said, if you they do they go back millions of years? I actually don't know how far back ice cores go. The Brigham, is that how I pronounce that?
Oh, Al says science isn't done in miles. So it's just silly talk all around.
Yeah, but they could be being nice for their audience.
What was he saying was 20 miles? Was it he was saying, what was he saying was 20
I
miles?
forgot already.
Yeah, certainly it wasn't because the dinosaur, the one that killed the dinosaurs, was like 6 miles across, right?
Oh, no.
So
apparently this is the only there were dinosaurs apparently 12,000? I don't know. I'm
Oh,
getting
yeah.
confused now. I'm not sure. They couldn't be YECs if they're talking about 12,000, if they're open to 12,000 years.
Yeah.
I mean, ostensibly they're old earthers? Because
Old young.
Mormons, I mean, is there old young earthers? I guess it's what you would
What do you mean?
call somebody who thought that the earth was only 13,000 years old. But
There
Mormons
are
in general, Mormons are old earthers, right?
yes. They are my understanding is that they are old earthers. I mean, Caden is very much a student of evolutionary theory. And
Fern says they are moderately aged earthers.
I don't think that. I think that they're very willing to accept the timeline of the stuff. I think they might. The thing where I think, and I actually don't know, how Mormons sort of come down on various sides of this, is the question. I don't know how Mormons feel about the question of like carnivory, because like Jehovah's Witnesses, I know, tend to be old earthers, but they think that T-Rex was an omnivore or an herbivore.
I've heard stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't know where Mormons fall in on that. I think they tend to be fairly mainstream, though.
Okay.
Let's.
So, I mean, this sort of goes along with the theory that it seems to be.
Sorry, Doc Dino just updated me.
Okay.
Some ice cores do go back millions of years. They tend to be Antarctic ones, which makes sense because like the North Pole is a lot more dynamic and difficult. And two, the crater that has been confirmed at the southern edge of Greenland is about 1/6 the width of the KT impact crater in the Yucatan, which is pretty frickin' nuts. So I didn't know about that. That's actually pretty interesting.
So Caden says the majority of members I know don't have a stance on it. Some do and some don't. I tend to lean more towards the standard scientific consensus of an old Earth.
I'm with you, Hayden.
Smaller periods of what I was saying in the podcast.
So they're like
before.
normal Americans. Like some people have a stance on it, some don't, regardless
Of
of
all the
religion.
countries to say that about, America might not be the one, Maya. Like, we got a 40 or 30% YEC chunk. So you're
I don't think it's
you're
a
right. But like,
YEC. I'm sorry, I'm thinking evangelical.
it's
I think. I mean, honestly, even with YECs, it's hard. God, it's hard to find like a lot of the YouTube bros. You know, I think that most are kind of like, well, my church says that I'm supposed to believe this, so I do. I don't think it's like. I think it's kind of hard, and I think that a lot of people just will. You know, my teacher tells me I'm supposed to believe this, so I do. I don't think that most people really
yeah.
think about it.
It's one of the depressing things is that people think that that's how higher education in general works, and basically regardless of what field, that is not true.
Right, right.
Higher education tends to, with some exceptions, but that don't tend to necessarily be that persistent. You can, as long as you're able to like be like, okay, under your assumptions, I get this answer. If you answer that correctly, they'll let you proceed. But that doesn't mean that you agree with those assumptions, and then you write a lot of papers and get famous for disagreeing with those assumptions.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Right, about worlds ending and restarting, but on the same planet. So you have multiple worlds, one Earth, one like terrestrial body, but many different worlds that have taken place here. So like I said, I'm an Atlantis truther, and I'm just trying to find like a way to say it that can make me.
I love that phrase so much.
Wow. Okay, so Atlantis trutherism is definitely not mainstream
I don't
LDS
know. I'm sorry.
theology.
I don't
Because
know
if
why I
it
didn't
was, I
mainstream
would know
that.
that. You probably rightly were concerned that we might not get there. Because we are, we've
9
been doing
minutes.
pretty
Like, that
well,
is really good for us.
considering where we started.
Yeah.
Sound the most crazy, so when someone clips this, I just really give them exactly what they want. You know what I mean? But as
Well, we do appreciate that. Thank
Well
you.
done, sir. Well done.
Atlantis truther, I think the fall of Atlantis was probably, I would say, the height of that world's technological civilization. And then whenever it was destroyed, when it was sunk underwater, we kind of started over, which is why you have bizarre remnants, like you have the Vimana, right, in the Vedas text, which is the.
Do you know what this is referring to, Chris?
I do. And
Ooh.
listen, just
Please
because
enlighten us.
I don't know
somebody,
this.
just as the books written in India a long, long time ago, just because somebody writes in a book does not mean that it's true. Vimanas are aircraft that they described. Matter of fact, this book, the Mahabharata, it's been a long time. Mahabharata, I think, is also one of the books, or allegedly was the basis of Star Wars. The author George Lucas ripped it off. They said from. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, these are the Vimanas are ships allegedly written in an old book written in India a long time ago. Very interesting story. It's a great story, super early sci-fi, if as it were, but that doesn't mean it's real.
But, well, people wrote about them a long time ago. And
That means they're right.
yeah.
Yeah, that must mean, yeah.
And it was like technology they couldn't have known about.
I don't know about that. What did they know? You know, when you read about the Vimanas, they're just like, I've never read anything about them that had any real technical analysis about it. It's just anybody could draw a flying machine or a flying anything. A people flying chariots is a good example.
Well, I mean,
What are they called?
ancient aliens.
No,
The whole
yes,
history.
they show up on Ancient Aliens.
And I have it on good authority from watching many ancient alien theories that brown people are not technological at all. And so if they are talking about anything technological, it had to be from either white people or aliens.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's
That's the
common
only way we
knowledge.
get our understanding of anything.
It is known. That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't imagine how. I really can't probably imagine how further along we'd be scientifically if
Religious people would stop holding us back. God.
Well, I mean, if
And I'm not saying all religious people only hold, like people back, but like, just speaking of my genre,
well,
the Pope's been complicit in.
yeah,
Many a Pope have been complicit in a lot of shit. We
if
could be a lot
more,
further along if not for the Dark Ages.
see, I get that. I feel that. But where I'm going, a little bit different because I'm going on where
Okay.
you started from. Was
Okay.
where I'm going was if the black community had had the opportunity and education throughout the last couple of centuries and not been suppressed, where would we be? Because they were brilliant people.
Actually,
That's kind of where I was
sorry.
going. Yeah.
No,
But also
you're
the
right.
religion too. The church.
No, you're right, because what we do see is Africans growing and developing alongside every other culture until
A
they
certain
had to
time.
be colonized, and had to be because they're savages, because their culture didn't look like cultures of people north of them, and it's only right if it looks the way it did when I was being brought up. So, which, and I still yell at people about that to this day, where, God, I don't want to go like too far off topic, but so I used to work with this woman. She was 80, And she was talking about like when she was a little girl, like back in, I don't know, 1930s or 40s or whatever. They had this game they used to play where they would stockings where they run in them, and you put them in a ball, and you get enough torn up stockings, and you have an actual ball. So then you could play ball with your all these pairs of torn up stockings. And there's a game they like to play, which was like ball over roof, where they would all pump up the throwing arm, but trying to get the ball over the roof of their house. And this was, a popular game back in, I don't know, the prairie or wherever the fuck she lived. And she was lamenting at how the children of today's youth, and this is maybe 10 years ago, would never know the joy of sock over the roof. And it sounded a lot like my brother, like complaining about kids not being able to, never knowing like how to like work their systems because everything was on a computer and all they do is stare at this computer and what are their brains doing. Remember back in our day when we had to blow into games and be like mini mechanics trying to get the Nintendo game to work in the Nintendo player. And I'm just like, holy shit, just like kids be kids. Like we all have our own thing. And I say all that to say, everybody thinks that the way they were raised is the way it was like the best way, which is great. Good on their parents for making them feel loved and everything was right with the world at that time. But maybe, when we start insisting that it's the only right way to be raised, and if you're not doing it this way, you're not doing it right, and therefore we have a right to suppress you, or to do unconscionable things to you because you're savages or not even human, which we're seeing a lot most recently with Haitians.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're
Sorry for the yawning. I do the early show, right? So
no, I'm sorry, and I'm babbling. I get that, but I mean, it's a lot of like when you say that, it's a lot of like the colonialism. A lot of it's that where you have this mentality that our way is the right way and the only right way, and rather than trying to understand where you're coming from, we're just going to demonize it and do what we want to do anyway.
Hindu flying machine, which they describe how to build an airplane, and people write that off. Christians write that off as mythology, right? And they just say, "Oh, it's mythology." Brad, we've had the Bronze Age, the Stone Age. What age are we in right now?
The Information Age.
The Sand Age. Lithium.
Sand Age. Was
that
ever a thing?
No, the Sand Age. The reason they say that is because sand is silica, and silica and silicon is the basis of the Information Age, which is a better answer.
So they should have just said Information Age?
Yeah, but if you're going to restrict yourself to basing it off materials, which has
okay.
Right, like
okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like this actually there's a poetry to it.
it makes sense.
Sure.
Okay. What age are we going to be? What's the next age going to be?
According to Einstein, it's going to be the Stone Age again.
Yeah, Stone Age on repeat, man.
Einstein?
He said, "I don't know with what weapons of war." He says, "I don't know." He says, He said, "I don't know with what weapons of war we will finish World War II, but I know World War III will be fought with sticks and stones."
Einstein said that?
That probably is, I think, an Einstein quote.
Pretty close, yeah. It's kind of close.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Like the gist, the core of the idea is correct.
Yeah, probably done after the bomb in
Exactly, which he
I can't think for shit right now.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Thank you. That, yes.
Yeah.
And that concern was
It's huge at that time, yeah.
What he actually said was, he said that I don't know or he said World War III and then World War IV, not World War II.
Yeah, he said, I don't know with what weapons World War III will be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones.
Yeah, because we'll decimate our society. Well, not decimate.
Yeah.
Horrible. I hate it when people misuse that word.
Yeah, because decimation is not an existential threat.
Well, decimation is a tenth of. It's not
exactly.
Sorry.
It's not like if you kill a tenth of a population, you haven't destroyed the population.
They sure make it sound like it. Yeah.
It's bad, it's probably the worst horrific thing that anybody that you've ever met has lived through. But it's, yeah.
World War
Right.
III.
Okay,
and IV.
but let's assume the world isn't okay. Let's assume there's another age coming after. What's the next age? You don't know.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know. You don't know.
That's
Now,
true.
what's 3 ages after that?
Well, that's true.
You certainly don't know. Now, write mythology about what's going to happen 3 ages after that.
And that's where you get like people like JRR Tolkien, who just, embraced like magic and mythology to like do it, but in the past.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you can imagine things. Just because you can imagine things doesn't make them real.
Well,
It's
no, they're not real. It's, clearly the aliens talking to you about what will happen in the future. And it just seems like magic.
oh, there is that too. There is that. I forgot about that.
Haven't you ever heard about quantum psychorealization?
No.
Don't
Me
think
neither. I literally just made that up, and I did, but I could write a book with that in the title, and I would sell. I would
yeah.
make money.
You
Why
can
haven't
sell
you
it
done
to these
that?
jackasses, that's for sure. They'd line up to buy it.
Yo, Titan. Titan's probably not watching because he's not
I
feeling well
haven't
today.
seen
But
Titan in a
Titan,
while. Or at all today.
Titan said that they weren't feeling well today.
Sure.
I believe at 5:48 my time.
You live in
And
the past.
I do live in the past. I
But
forgot what I was
we don't
saying.
have to
It's like impossible.
Titan.
So how did they do it? How did they do that? How did they write
Just-
mythology?
Lucky guesses, Kwaku. It's just lucky guesses.
Okay, so I'm going to continue because we're going to try and get to the end of the Dan's tweet thread here. But he says, at the time of the South Pole, at the time of the Younger Dryas event, the South Pole was 63 degrees north, 53 degrees west, Hyperborea. The land of the north was Antarctica. The peninsula and New Schwabenland were inhabited by a forgotten civilization that mapped the world's oceans. But why was this known as the land of light?
It is known.
It is known.
Okay, so we talked in our last podcast. Nobody's found Atlantis. I'm still a little bit dubious here, but we're gonna keep going because I think the arrogance of man is big enough that it could probably overlook it somewhere, and we have yet to discover so much of our own world that I think it'd be a fool to say something definitive like it did not exist ever. So in the distant past, the Earth was in concert with Mars, Venus, and Saturn. This magical land was perpetually lit by the second sun, which would be worshipped for millennia to come.
That's a bingo square. I'm pretty sure that's a bingo square.
Is that all it is? Because
there
wow,
was no
that
darkness, but
didn't
mere
sound like anything else.
And was
Sounded
perpetually
like-
lit by the second sun, which would be worshipped for millennia to come. There was no darkness, but mere twilight at night. So one of these lost civilizations that this giant comet that hit the west of Greenland wiped out after it melted all of the ice and created Noah's flood
And the
was a
second
land.
fucking sun? Like,
I-
did he just forget that just came out of his mouth?
Yes.
Comet hit Greenland and destroyed a whole other sun. What happened? What just happened?
Well, I mean, the second sun, it was just chilling and like passing in some sort of like nonsense hyperbolic orbit that like threw all of the planets into their modern orbits, and they fell from their previous orbits, and that's what the fall in Genesis is about. I have seen this video already.
Where are these people?
Land called New Schwabenland, also known as the Land of Light. And you suggested it was called the Land of Light because at that point, Mars, Venus, and Saturn were in conjunction with us, casting more light upon our planet.
What does
So
that
this
mean?
place,
Another bingo square, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Mars, Venus, and
Mars-
Saturn is a bingo square.
Mars, Venus, and
Yeah,
Saturn
it is.
were in conjunction with us.
And
I don't-
somehow
so-
it was bright enough to light up. Yeah, I don't think that's the way that works.
Conjunction like is like a thing. It means like an alignment of
Oh, right.
No.
bodies, like so you can see like you're like,
No,
oh
well,
hey,
okay,
Saturn
so,
and
like-
Jupiter and Mars are all visible right in this little area of the sky. Like that's pretty cool. That's a
So-
conjunction. It's not
Well,
magic.
I'm trying to understand what he means by like, is it like a mathematical conjunction? Because like, I'm double checking this on Google just to make sure that I'm not like I'm using the word correctly when I use it normally, and it's like an action or instance of two or more events or things occurring at the same point in time or space.
Yes.
Meaning, the same point in time or space.
Right. Well,
Space
yeah.
time.
right.
We're all on top of each other. Yeah, that would be pretty fucking cataclysmic or cataclysmic.
Yeah.
Can't even talk right now.
I,
Yeah, if Mars, Venus, and Saturn were in conjunction with us, yeah, I don't think we'd be talking to one another right now. We'd have other
well,
problems.
I
What
think
the
what they
fuck?
mean, you know how
What do they mean?
the planets go around the sun, they all go around the sun. And
That
like
so
sometimes Earth is
Mars,
over.
Venus is going faster than us. Mars and no, it's slower. Yeah, slower. Mars and Venus Saturn would have to be going like super fast to stay in conjunction, and which isn't what conjunction is.
Well, they don't stay in
They're not,
conjunction.
yeah,
That's
they
why
don't
it's
stay.
a neat thing.
It's not conjunction. It's alignment.
Well, when they
That's alignment. It's not conjunction.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
That works for me.
I mean,
I
is
think alignment and
there another
conjunction that
definition
way.
of conjunction? I mean, we
They
all know what
align in
alignment
time
is. Yeah, if the planets were aligned,
in time and space. They're not. That doesn't mean at the same
that would be
location. That means
No, I
that
mean
they're set up in like an
okay,
interesting way.
show me where to find your definition of conjunction, which also means alignment.
Well,
Because
Astronomical
the
conjunction.
only one I've
That's-
ever been aware of is saying that it's the same point in time in space. Is there?
well,
I don't understand.
but I understand what you're saying, but I think what everybody is saying and what
Is
they
alignment?
mean is alignment.
Is
Yeah.
alignment?
Yes, that's what they
Okay.
mean. They're all aligned at the same time. They're all on the same side of the sun. Boop, 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 boop. You know,
Appear
Earth is
together
here.
in the
Mars,
sky as observed
Yeah.
by Earth.
Yeah.
So how the fuck do you get Venus and Saturn? Okay, as observed by Earth. I was like, how do you get? Okay, in astronomy. Okay, I guess
That's what I'm saying.
it wouldn't
That's not-
necessarily be.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, that's close enough.
For the record,
that's
you
exactly
should
what
ask.
I'm trying to
Yes,
say.
You should ask the Providence.
Kind of,
also-
because they're not
look at
actually
that.
aligned. That's not what we're saying either. Because
Yeah.
if
That-
you're
they
staying
are
aligned,
here-
that would be a straight line.
Well,
This
okay,
is
so
different
Maya, what
because
you have to appreciate is the azimuthal grid of vision that we all get independently, and that is why.
I
we
was
all get our
asking that
personal
because
sky domes.
my only understanding of conjunction is as it is in what am I
That's
quoting
because you're
here?
not understanding.
I've never needed to use conjunction in astronomy. I will give you that. So I can take a Merriam-Webster definition and use it colloquially, and
I'm not
actually
disagreeing with you.
and actually be using it correctly.
You're absolutely right.
I don't know what they mean. Assumingly they mean this. I'm assuming they mean this, which again has not happened.
Yeah,
Well,
but if they mean it, they're wrong, because also that's not like an important thing in terms of what
I just
happens
said
on
that.
Earth.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
just said that.
What I got from it was they were saying that all those planets were in the sky at the same time, and the light combined from all those planets being in the sky at the same time was equivalent to whatever. That's what
another sun.
I think. Can you pop it back just a little bit?
Well, no. I'm just saying, like we've had this happen in the sky, and actually, the moon is a lot brighter. It doesn't do that.
Yes,
the moon is actually a lot brighter than any 4 stars would be.
At least way brighter, way brighter.
I don't understand why they think this would be a thing.
Way brighter. The moon is like I don't know what magnitude it is. I'm pretty sure it's like -15 though. And like the brightest star is -3. It's many orders of magnitude between them.
Yeah, and the planets being in the sky is not. It's not gonna outshine the moon. That's for damn sure. So yeah, carry on, crazy people.
They appeared as a second sun, and
That's what they
so much
said.
so that people were confused.
Yeah.
Because of the luminosity. Or some
Saturn work in conjunction with us, casting more light upon our planet.
So this place in Greek mythological texts was called Hyperborea.
Okay.
And they described it as a place that was never a place of complete darkness. It was a place where at night, it was always lit up. It was always twilight. So there was an alternative physicist who was actually a close.
Have they never actually seen stars in the sky?
Probably not.
There's a lot of fucking stars in the sky.
There's a lot of stars in the sky.
I just don't see how the converging of any of them would like make it almost like twilight, like it would just never get dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't. That's why you don't see it, Maya, because you like operate within the realm of like, you know.
I'm trying to understand what they're talking about, and I just like there's a lot of fucking stars in the sky, and you still gets really really dark during a new moon.
It really does.
Friend of Albert Einstein in the mid 20th century by the name of Immanuel Velikovsky. He believed, based off of his electrical model of astrophysics, and he combined it with ancient mythology, that the Earth used to be very close or much closer to Mars, Venus, and Saturn.
He uses sciencey sounding words, like you proved earlier, Vandy. Whenever you used sciencey sounding words, and that's it. And the harder Maya tries to make sense of his sciencey sounding words, the more her head's gonna hurt. I'm just saying.
I just like I'm really like because I remember they believe that Jupiter used to be closer and then something happened and it pushed it back and but like
It
it's
was
still like
giving birth.
yeah well hold
There
up
we go.
like I'm trying to make it make sense right but I'm thinking like this was even I mean while everything would have been in different order but like it still would have been like basically Jupiter and I don't know if how fully formed Saturn was, but this is definitely before the planets in the inner solar system were formed. You still get Jupiter before you get Saturn, and Saturn is always behind Jupiter. So I don't how the fuck is the Earth closer to Saturn and Mars but not Jupiter?
That's
I don't
not. Yeah. See, that's where this guy's just making words that come out of his mouth that you're just vexing yourself with. I think.
yeah, I just
I mean,
I
right?
don't I'm not really clear on where he thinks Venus actually is.
And one of the things is, sure, I can honestly believe that it's possible that Earth or that Saturn and Jupiter and their relative positions have changed or would change or
Yeah.
something. It's
Yeah,
possible
no,
they have,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
not during the history of
During the
mankind,
history of mankind,
not throughout the
everything's been
entirety.
pretty
Yeah,
set.
yeah, because there are
The
things.
entire history of mankind.
Yes, life almost on Earth is
Pretty much, I
essentially.
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, no, yeah. Like since the Earth stopped forming,
There would be
um,
significant repercussions, I think, for Jupiter to not be where Jupiter is or to move or
oh
Saturn.
yeah,
Yeah, those. Yeah, that's just my
yeah,
thing.
we're pretty positive of that actually.
Saturn's tractor beam. That's
So
right.
Dr. Tapioca Weasel completely checked out of the conversation and just decided to like start throwing his wallet around. And he decided to give himself more cultist. Those cult. Oh God, can't talk today. Mind blown. Um, I would like to welcome to the fold Tyler West, Bryce Vining, Robert Madewell, um, Andrew Petrie, and Claude Simeon. All right,
Odd
welcome,
Simeon,
welcome.
that's a great name.
Please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties and vaginas. And Daddy List is here for $5. He says, I know we've had a lot of false starts, but biblical polls has to be about magnets, right? Wow, you were on point, sir.
That's right.
You know what, chat? I'm gonna press play, and then I'm gonna walk away and feel bad about myself.
Northern
Do it.
hemisphere of the Earth.
Job
So,
well
and this is
done.
something that Joseph Smith believed in.
Oh, wait, what?
Joseph. Well, if Joseph Smith believed in it,
Ow.
I
it
really
must
thought we were
be.
about to go to like Velikovsky, which is so I don't well you said yeah, you probably haven't seen any of her Roger streams. Roger decided to say on stream one day, apropos of nothing, that Jupiter gave birth to Venus. And we were like, what? And, me being the psychology major I am, decided I must know more. Like, Roger, like,
Yes.
like this came from
Categorically, yes.
somewhere. I must understand. And so we did 3 or 4 vids on where Roger got this miraculous idea. And yeah, Jupiter is apparently a space lady with a vagina that gives birth to planets. Um, and, just shat Venus side of her vag,
Yeah.
just pew, pew, pew,
That's how
and
it works.
caused a cataclysm on Earth.
That would, yeah, I guess it would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess that would happen.
obviously.
I mean, it depends where they're aimed.
It would. It would.
Like,
So
yeah, like just
Jupiter
adding
has a
another.
directional vag.
Obviously.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so.
How else would you explain the cataclysm?
Of course, of course.
Mm.
Makes sense.
I was going to say, didn't you say that there was some kind of drawing by Joseph Smith
Yes.
in which Saturn is above the Earth? Hit it.
Yes. Yes.
Crazy.
Is this
So
just him
he
like
was trying to find-
speculating?
So what is this?
So Philo Dibble asked some different questions about, so where are the lost 10 tribes? And he explained, they're gone on.
Well, I'm sorry. Isn't
what?
Joseph Smith is the prophet who ended up sexing his own congregation's wives and then ended up hiding out from them in the second story of a old Western jail, and they came and shot him, and he jumped out the window and died. Is that the same Joseph Smith?
Yeah, that's a crazy story. If you want to learn more about that, you should watch
South Park?
the series. No, well, yes, but if you want to like watch people go full in depth, who was it? I can't remember. There's a it's on Derek's channel. It's on MythVision. He did a series with Dave, somebody who wrote a book about the guy, and Blake something. Blake Fine. I don't remember exactly what his name is, but Blake something. It's on MythVision. It's on Derek's channel. It's amazing.
Good show.
Like seriously.
I never saw that one.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
was
know Derek did a video on Joseph Smith.
He
check
did
it
a
out.
48-part series. It's like maybe it's 28 parts. It's
Really?
it's more than 24 parts that are each
Wow.
like an hour and a half long, where he went hardcore into the history of Mormonism chronologically, and it is crazy. It is the most amazing, fascinating, entertaining story.
Joseph Smith was in jail at Carthage because of his destruction of Nauvoo
Yeah,
exposition printing presses.
he destroyed the printing press in Nauvoo that was printing against him with his giant militia that rivaled in size the militia of the United States at that time.
God damn.
Yeah. This was the third. I think that there were events adjacent to this that were considered like the second or third Mormon war with the state of Missouri. Okay, when you have multiple wars that are called the Mormon War against like Missouri, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Different
State
sphere
militia.
and where they go.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Carry on.
And he described, a long time ago, the Earth used to be in a different location in the heavens. And he showed an image.
Duh.
You could look this up. Philo Dibble,
What does that even
Joseph
mean?
Smith drawn.
Okay.
So he just
I guess
How's
it
the
means
Earth
that,
in the heavens? The heavens is the dome. The dome over the Earth.
well, let's be charitable and say that the heavens is like the space and the cosmos. It's the whole shebang.
Yeah, I get what he's trying to say, but then life, we got to be in a certain zone of
In the
habitable
solar
zone.
system.
Yes.
exactly. Yeah.
So the
They think that
solar
we were at a
system.
different orbit.
So the solar system is heaven now?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'll give them that. If they want to call the heavenly bodies, heaven.
Well, hi, puppy.
Heavenly bodies is a term that I think most people do understand without a whole lot of
It's not
other
what it said,
explanation. You're right, it's not, but I'm drawing a parallel because my job on this show, Maya,
It's
is to
pissed
be
me
the
off.
unreasonable, yes, but to also be the unreasonable
Piss her
devil's
off, Eric.
advocate. Yes, by being an unreasonable
By
devil's
pissing me
advocate.
off.
Yeah, okay.
describing an image where that was supposedly the Earth. Above the Earth was a planet Mars. Above the North Pole was a planet Mars. Above Mars was Venus. And above Venus was Saturn.
Wow.
I have an Ori.
And this is what
If you play Ori. Oh my god.
Oh no way.
I know.
Wait. Oh,
Just like
holy
Ori
shit.
from the game. He's a multi-poo. I I cut his hair myself, as you could tell. That's why he looks so horrible. But
He looks adorable.
No,
more,
more.
dog. We have
Wait, wait.
five. We have
Yeah.
5 of these little guys.
Five.
Not like
Oh.
him. All of them. The other ones look different. But he was the puppy dog of a homeless veteran, and the homeless veteran needed to get medical attention and moved into a medical facility, and so we adopted the dog. We already had 4, right? Wow.
How's the guy doing?
He's doing good. He just they healed him, and they've moved him into he's got his own home now and all those things. He just couldn't get those things with the dog. They wouldn't let him. So
that's
great.
fair. But like, hopefully, he will get to the point where he can get the dog back.
Well, he's never getting the dog back.
Well,
He ain't never getting that dog back.
My dog, mine.
He can get another
own
dog.
dog.
Get another dog. He ain't getting this one back. He'd have to kill my wife or over her dead body, I guess. No, really, she's always wanted one of these dogs. Always wanted one of these little bear dog looking things. Because normally they look like, and I don't want one of those little rat dogs. And then she got it, and it loves me, follows me everywhere. I love it. It's fantastic. It's great.
My dog, mine. What's the doggy's name?
Ollie.
Ollie.
Yeah.
Oh, Ollie the doggy. I love it.
He does look like an Ori. If you've ever played the video game Ori,
Mm-hmm.
Ori in the Blind Forest or something, he looks just like a little Ori dog. So,
I will take your word for it.
yeah.
All right.
Y'all have dogs?
Immanuel Velikovsky
Go
also
ahead.
discussed.
Back to the show.
So
Back to
it
the show.
is a theory that there's very, very, very high level esoteric groups that believe that a long time ago in the past, this was the astrophysical.
Okay, but if we literally changed orbits, wouldn't that be so cataclysmic on our Earth? It would just cease to exist?
Well, Brigham Young said that was part of the consequences of the fall.
What?
That the Earth literally fell out of its orbit.
Did you see his face?
Yes, he did say that.
He was like, he had my look. He was like, "What are we doing now?"
Wait, which one? Which one?
Your friend down here in the bottom
Riku?
right. Yeah. Like,
Just cease to exist?
Well, Brigham Young said that was part of the consequences of the fall.
what?
That the Earth literally.
I think he's distracted by something else right now, actually.
Yeah, he was totally distracted. He was like, "Well, Brigham Young said that,
I think
that this
even
is
when
right."
he
And
looks
he was like, "Wait, what now?"
I think even when he's
doing
looking
more bullshit,
distracted,
I will
though.
go back to my bullshit. Like,
That's fair.
I don't know. It was just funny. But yeah, I don't know if there's anybody who can
Well, let him cook.
let me know. Well, yeah, for a second though, but like we'll let him go for a second. But I need to know if Brigham Young actually said this bullshit. I'm curious.
Well, Brigham Young said that was part of the consequences of the fall. That the Earth literally fell out of its orbit.
Yes, he did say that.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's part of why it's called the fall.
No, really?
Yeah.
Is that why
All
it's
right.
the fall? Is
Man.
there any? I don't know. It's probably past Caden's bedtime. But
I haven't seen Caden in a bit.
Brigham Young said a lot of insane things I thought were made up to make Mormons look bad.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He has more insane things to say about that because he lived for a lot longer than Joseph Smith did.
Yeah.
Joseph Smith died in 1844, and I think he came up with Mormonism on the early side at like a lot around 1824. So, that's a short amount of time. Brigham Young was like the governor / dictator of Utah for like 30 years.
Yeah. Brigham Young was. I don't know. Possibly more. I don't know if you could be more toxic than Joseph Smith, but
You can be more effective at it.
Brigham Young was effective. I'll give him that.
What?
Corpus is saying she doesn't recall Brigham Young saying that, but
You wouldn't. That doesn't mean.
doesn't mean yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is, you also might not recall, depending on exactly when you were, involved in LDS. the like ingrained, baked in categorical racism, which is still there, but it's masked a lot more.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard to bring people in when, racism is so unpopular. You gotta.
They're doing it right now with gay rights, and they're going to do it with trans rights. It's like it's happening in front of our eyes. They're sort of changing and suppressing
Yeah, I mean,
past
you
teachings.
suppress it. It's we're not going to say it out loud. Brigham Young was an American religious leader and politician. He was the second president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints from 1847 until his death in 1877. During his time as church president, Young led his followers, the Mormon pioneers, from West Nauvoo, Illinois, to Salt Lake Valley.
Yep.
And
okay.
he's also the nominal person of the Brigham Young University.
He's the titular. No.
Oh yeah, well, I know where you're going with that though.
I know that's closer, but it's not quite the
Yeah, as the person that Brigham Young University was named after.
Nominus?
Chris Christopherson.
Maybe it is nominal.
Oh, you're just now hearing about that?
I just now heard about that.
Yeah,
Wow.
Chris Christopherson, the actor and the country music person. I've never heard him sing, but loved him in Blade.
Yeah. Wow.
No, he did some other movies too, which, he's a good actor.
He's been around.
Yeah.
Mostly a singer. That's what I know him for. He's a singer.
I'm not a big country music fan, but I understood that he was a singer.
Gotcha. Didn't mean to derail the show. Just kind of caught my attention. Sorry.
Fair enough. We both have ADHD. It's totally fine. We're on board.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll continue. Speed Read Dan continues to say, all culture, language, science, and technology originates from this primordial sodality. From here we have the mystery schools of the ancient world. What was once concrete became ethereal. The simple became obtrusive. History became legend, and legend became myth. And then there's an epic picture. I totally dig this one, and we're going to be putting that one up on the screen.
But he
says, this is a great time to remind the chat that he's reading his tweets.
This whole thing is following a Twitter thread
of the guy in pink.
Oh yeah,
and
it was so enthralling that they had to bring him on a show and talk to him. And
I'm able to say this week. I wasn't able to do it 3 weeks ago. I was able to do it last week. I am less pink looking than the guy in pink.
You are, yeah.
But again, I couldn't say that 3 weeks ago because last week.
Last week. Are you really stopping the show for this?
Was the first physical manifestation of mankind, our mankind. They came from above with the faculties of divinity. Their kin arose to almost 15 feet in height. They approached 1,000 years in age. These sons of God had power over life, space, and the elements. Their power knew no bounds. Okay.
Wait,
until the Fire Nation attacked.
He's made a lot of claims. Did I miss the part where he Now this is new for I say new at least this year. Very rare that we get 16 minutes into anything. Did I miss the part where he provided evidence for any of the bullshit that came out of his mouth?
You did not.
No.
I mean, you did, but that's because it wasn't present.
I don't think they've really used the E word yet.
Have we even gotten evidences yet?
I don't think so.
Which is evidence, but a lower bar. Sometimes they'll just say the Bible, but I'm not even hearing it. I'm just hearing claim after claim after claim. He's not this is stuff that is blowing his Mormon comrades out of they're just mind blown emojis, right? And nobody is it just us? Are we the only ones that are wow, hey, claim, back it up?
I'm paying attention. You can tell because I have my bingo card, and there are 2 places where I'm 1 away.
No, goddamn, I can't believe. Are
This is
you
what
are
I'm
you sure you're
saying.
paying attention? Because I feel like you should have filled up like 2 bingo cards
No,
by now.
the bingo. So the squares are filled in sort of evenly throughout the video, and we're
No, I
only
love
halfway
that.
through. So
Ah, ah.
yeah.
Holy crap.
Now we're getting into crazy talk.
Now?
Crazy talk that's in the Bible, though. You know
What?
what I'm
Right?
saying? So
And Moses.
and the Book of Moses, and to Joseph Smith.
Mhm.
Okay, elaborate. 15 feet Adam,
Exactly.
10-foot Noah.
Wait, I don't. Where was that in the Bible? I missed that part of the Bible.
It
I
was
need
in the Book
wait
of Moses.
chapter and verse, please.
The Book of Moses, chapter whatever I need it to be, verse
Ah,
2.
yeah. I googled that. It's right here.
Uh, is the broadcast about to end?
Ours?
Never mind. There was a countdown at the top of my screen that said the broadcast was about to end. It was weird. And moving on.
Noah.
So there are some different sources in ancient Christian texts that the people before the flood were giants,
Yes.
and not just abnormal giants. This idea that somehow the blood of man was corrupted, or at some point it became changed, and as man became closer to 6 feet in height, his lifespan became also closer to 120 years, and eventually became even shorter and lived even shorter.
Because some would say that was not a punishment, but a consequence of rejecting the truth of God in the Garden of Eden. But you say it was actually a physical manifestation of a physical change happening in the
Now,
earth.
this is something that was written and alluded to by JRR Tolkien.
Oh, wait a minute.
Change happening in the
Wait,
earth.
wait. I
This is
said
something
wait
that
a
was
minute.
written and alluded to by JRR Tolkien.
I was
Okay.
just refreshing.
Sure.
Sorry.
I'm gonna have to call bullshit on that being evidences.
So, Maya, are you not familiar with the great history of Middle Earth that is documented in the Red Book of Westmarch? That is documented in both The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and also, thirdly, in the Silmarillion, but that's not from the Red Book of Westmarch.
Is this what you're always like commonly calling hot nonsense?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. But it's hot. The works of J.R.R. Tolkien are not hot nonsense. I mean, in terms of being a description of like the actual history of anything in reality, yes. But in terms of being what they are meant to be, they're the best of their kind.
Right.
He had a dedication
Whoa.
and a thoroughness of
All right.
world building.
All right, but is it science?
No.
No, and he would agree with that. He was a professor at Oxford.
It was a fantasy world. This guy here is using fantasy world to justify his theories.
And also to justify his
Theories.
extensive excursions into linguistic fan fiction, because he was a linguist and just liked making languages.
How
Cool.
like
I
these
think
different
that's
races.
I actually do think it's really cool, like making languages.
Yeah.
However, I don't think it's reasonable to go into Twitter and then tell people that it's totally real and is founded in history.
Right.
Well, I
I
mean,
think that's really uncool, actually.
Less than cool.
Mhm.
If cool
your
were over here.
dedication to facts is clouding your judgment.
Fair.
Of man, and he was discussing how in the earlier ages they lived longer, they were taller, they were stronger, they had more intelligence. And for example, in the Lord of the Rings, some of the
Oh God.
Oh my God. Like my
more
eyes almost rolled out of my head at that one.
When he said that, like, when does the Balrog show up in this guy's story?
Don't ask questions that we don't have time to answer.
society or more noble characters, like they don't really age, or maybe they age only half as
The character who is most like famous for not aging, other than the wizards, I guess, would be Bilbo. And that's because he had the one ring, which was an evil, like, a parasite on him that kept him alive because it corrupted him.
Same thing with Smeagol.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm that kind of nerd.
you know,
Yeah.
much as the other characters. It's something that's alluded to in many mythologies the world over that, anciently emperors ruled for over 100 years or maybe even a couple hundred years.
Is that a
And
word?
this is not just supposedly 10,000 years ago. This is more like 4,000 or 5,000 years ago.
Okay,
So this is the part where I really wish we had somebody like Dr. Josh or Dr. Kip on, to talk about like the Sumerian king list, where the kings had ages in 28,000 years, and but I don't know when they lived. I don't know if that was 4,000 years ago. I feel like it was before then.
But we have Chris on, which is better, and it's better because Chris is here to actually hear me say that.
That's true.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
exactly. So you say pride comes before the fall. The daughters of men and the seed of the snake corrupted their capacities. These legendary heroes end up realizing Earth is unsustainable. And Enoch leaves the Gulf of Mexico along with millions of others, and they go beyond the powerful purview of the fallen watchers, a new home in the heavens above, because as we know from the Old Testament, Enoch was taken up with the righteous, right? And
Right?
Right.
Oh, wait. No, we're not doing Bedell. Sorry.
We almost did.
We almost did Bedell. And then that joke would... Never mind.
He has no idea what we're talking about.
No, he doesn't. And that's why we're moving on.
Moving on.
But Dapper is a cunning linguist, yes.
Oh, I forgot to take that down.
they are eagerly accepted by the righteous in the heavens. Meanwhile, down here, all right, the poles change places again. And there's a new heaven and a new earth. Desperate factions would strive to preserve their sophisticated science and cunning cultivation. Sorry, societies and cunning cultivation.
What
What?
are you doing?
Don't worry
But
about
another
it.
cataclysm 1,300 years later would trample all that was left. Antarctica. So now the next cataclysm you mentioned is Antarctica. Elaborate.
Yeah, so what happened was the new South Pole was over Antarctica, which means that Antarctica would be frozen over. Or maybe there was some.
How weird would that be for Antarctica to be frozen over, you guys?
I'm
No.
not buying this. This is a bunch of crap.
I think he thinks that the pole shift means the Earth flips. And so
I agree.
Yeah.
And he thinks that, not that that's what it means.
Yeah.
Sorry.
because he's like, now that Antarctica is the new South Pole, it had to be frozen over. Because when it was the North Pole, there was no need for that. What the actual fuck?
Indeed.
Ice on the Pacific side of Antarctica, the northern side of what was then Antarctica, but then the South Pole was the middle of Antarctica, and all of it froze over.
Okay.
So what I believe, I explained
only
this later
froze
on in the
over when-
thread, is
South Pole. No need for it to freeze over when it's the North Pole because, physics
that
and geography.
One of them has land and the other one has...
Water. Yeah. Ice. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but before the Earth was flipped, one of them had land and one of them had water.
Just like it. Yeah. Oddly, just like it would after it was flipped. That's cool.
But when one of them had land and one of them had water, then it had to freeze over
This
because
is...
post flip.
But of course, that makes sense. Yeah. That's what I would do.
Viola.
Viola.
there's a hole someplace in Antarctica that is
Fucking hole in Antarctica.
Oh, and that's when it also got the handy
Is that where
dandy hole
That's where the Germans are hiding. The Germans from
that
World War
the Germans
II.
had to find so that they could find
Yeah.
the inner Earth with the pasty ass inner Earthers that were going to give them the key to winning World War II.
And the Eye of Sauron. Very true.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. Yeah.
You're not wrong. No,
Brigham Young said it, so it must be true.
must be true. And Hitler believed it, so it must be true. God damn it, Jedi! Thank you for breaking up this insanity with the cool deed of giving us 10 more cultists. Jedi, you angel. And that went to, oh my God, Scott Duke. Love Scott Duke. Stephanie Holmes. About fucking time. Mark, not Grifter. Griefer, Mark G, Fade to Gray, Johnny Smith, Canadian Alleyman, Triceratops. No, oh wait, no, he just talked. Holy shit, I hate last names. John Gear, Fits of Non-Jewish Essenes Rage. That is a name. Rana, Unwelcome Nuance K, not Brooks. And am I missing one? I feel like I'm missing one. Nope, I think that was it. All right. Thank you for gifting all those names, things, because you're a Jedi. Hear you roar.
I wanna. I want to say I really appreciate the unwelcome nuance reference.
For $2, Mark
Essentially-
Egamoto says, I feel my interior score quickly dropping. Is that interior? Intelligence score quickly dropping. Oh, that makes way more sense. Yeah, no. I would, yeah. It's all the stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You are welcome.
Essentially, essentially the bathtub plug for planet Earth.
The lake. Yeah. Okay. I get it.
So it's something where water is able to flow into it, but because it's blocked by ice, it means that sea levels are going to be 400 feet higher.
Well, geologists believe that's how the Badlands in Montana were formed. That the Badlands were indeed cataclysmic. And it was because there was an ice shelf in which water in Canada had slowly amassed behind a glacier, that because of the downdrafts, the way the wind has been in the polar vortex, that there was...
Okay, you know, there was a part of what they were saying that was like vaguely correct.
Kind of science.
And then they just kept on adding nonsense to it. Do you know what I'm talking about, Chris?
Yeah. They just layered it on. Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. One of the dangers about this kind of pseudoscience crap is that they pepper in just enough to get people sucked in or to believe it. It's scary that people like this are out there.
Yeah, they just run wild.
They vote. That's what scares me. They vote. These people vote.
Shit.
Actually warmer air in Canada than there was in Montana for such a long period of time, that a large lake formed behind a wall of ice. And when that wall of ice finally ruptured, 300-foot wall of water comes blowing down Montana and creates Badlands National Park, or whatever that national park is up there. Mm-hmm. So anyway, there's mainstream scientists that believe what you're calling is esotericism right now. So awesome. Keep going.
I just wanted to double check, Dan. Were you saying that, like...
There was a enormous inland sea / lake.
Okay.
That was probably plugged up on the north end side by a glacier. Mm-hmm. And when the glacier melted, there was a catastrophic flooding event because
side of what though? What are we talking about?
It was in like South Dakota or something, and it might have been I don't know if it was the Badlands, but it was in like that sort of general area. Okay. It was huge. It was a huge area of land. Okay. And it, over the course of hours and days, drained catastrophically.
Wait, you're not talking about the North American Interior Seaway, right?
No, is that the like Lewis and Clark pipe dream?
No, it's like the big fucking sea that like separated North America into two.
Well, the
reason why they're like Nebraska and all those states are so fucking grassy and there's nothing in them.
The Great Plains.
Yeah, Great Plains. Thank you.
This happened more northern and drained westward.
Okay.
And it was like maybe the size of Texas, but it wasn't the size of the entire Great Plains.
Gotcha.
And it drained over. I don't know enough. Like this would be something where it was a lot of stuff though, and it drained cataclysmically over a short period of time when basically a mountain pass like burst open because the glacier got small enough. And the thing is, we can look at the downstream thing and see the geology of it and know that that's the geology of a cataclysmic flood, because it also makes sense based on all the other shit we know about how the world works, and then compare that to the rest of the world and be like, oh wait, no, there wasn't a giant cataclysmic flood, because we can tell.
Wait, a
Like-
giant cataclysmic flood? You mean like Noah's flood?
Yeah, exactly.
They're always going for Noah's flood. They're always going for Noah. I had a Christian friend, and you guys have probably heard this, that told me that they believe the Grand Canyon was created by the world splitting open to shoot the water in the air that eventually fell back down and caused the Great Flood.
My head
Yeah.
hurts so much right now.
I know,
No,
right?
no, I did not hear.
And then you
I
hear
heard
there's these
the.
studies
I
that there's
thought. Don't
if they
wait. Doc would know this real quick. I thought they believed that young Earth creationists believe that the Grand Canyon was created during the flood.
Yeah, like at the end, like over about a week.
there you go. Depends on who. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Like Kent Hovind
I'm saying something different. Like the Grand Canyon was formed as water was coming through it
But
to.
no, at the
No.
end of the flood, when it
That's
was
what
No.
my friend said.
That's what he's saying.
Oh,
Yeah. And see,
okay.
one of the things that what I was
I'm
going to
not
go on to
familiar
say
with
was
that.
they've recently been saying that, and they've discovered that there's like an ocean under the crust of the Earth. Science. No, that's science. They found this. This is another one of those science
Wait.
things.
Oh, I thought you were saying under the Grand Canyon.
No. Just under the
Okay.
crust of the Earth. There's more than all the oceans
Like an
combined
aquifer.
underneath the crust of their. And so that's like real
Are you talking about like
known
the
science.
crystals or whatever?
No, just an underground ocean. I'll look it up real quick. But anyway, so they're trying to use that science fact to back up their religious claim that that's where the water came from that covered the earth. It came from that ocean or something like that.
Okay, because I a couple of weeks ago, everybody was saying that Mars had an underground ocean under the Earth, and it was because like
Under the earth.
no, I'm sorry, under its
Under the
crust.
crust.
But that
I wanted
was
to make sure, because
sorry,
it'd be on
yeah,
brand
right,
for-
right, yeah. It's the blue crowd, so God knows it could be in Venus too. Who knows? But
yeah, exactly.
um, no, I forgot the science behind it, but it's something about like how water crystallizes, and apparently it's happened on Earth too, where fuck, where's Doc Dino when you need him? But they have found that they're like,
When water crystallizes, it does expand.
mhm.
Is that
But it was
related to
like
what you're
trapped
talking about?
in like under the ground and in like under Mars, and they're calling it an actual underground Martian ocean, and
No.
it's like crystallized. Like I don't know if they think it's frozen or what's going on, but it's and then of course there are people or possibly reptilians in Mars, and this is they live underground because since the atmosphere stripped away, it forced all the inhabitants to go tunnel underground and to make their layers, and then this is like that crystallized water is how they're I don't know, it's an actual ocean that's nourishing themselves. It's kind of weird. I'm not thinking of the terms
Well,
accurately, but because of that phenomenon, they've decided that it's an actual underground ocean, and that's how the inner Martians are nourishing themselves. They're getting sustenance. They're
yeah.
developing systems for underground farming, and sometimes, depending on who you're talking to, they may or may not be transporting humans as slave labor, and that's why there's so many people coming up missing that can't be found. It's not because police are completely lazy. It's totally because Martians are abducting Earthlings
Yeah. That's
for slave labor.
took kind of a wild turn. Yes, there's an ocean under the crust here on Earth.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
about Mars. I would
Giant,
believe it that there was. I would believe there was on Mars as well.
giant
But there's-
ocean discovered 700 kilometers beneath the
Yeah,
surface.
that's all.
Did see that too.
I don't.
But I
Mars.
watch a lot of crazy shit, and
Yes, you do.
how else was I gonna
Yeah, you
fit
do.
into the stream unless we took that detour?
If the South Pole was uncovered, was
Not
no longer
covered in
covered in
ice.
ice,
Yes, then the
that
sea levels
water
would
would
go
flow
down.
back in.
Yes,
Sea levels would go down.
And that is described in the DNC.
Oh, okay.
In the Doctrine and Covenants?
Yes.
I mean, at least it wasn't the Democratic National Convention, am I right?
Well, you know, they could have just as easily have thrown that in there and been as accurate, I think.
It would go down.
Well, they wouldn't know. You're right.
And that is described in the DNC.
Oh, okay.
In the Doctrine and Covenants?
Yes. Water will flow back into the North Country.
What?
Oh.
Kwaku, what are you smiling at? You didn't know that before this.
So, well, first, the Doctrine and Covenants is one of the most esoteric books, like, out there in general, and people just don't realize it.
I'm not going to disagree with that. And I'm not going to take it as a compliment.
DNC one, I've been a blank on the actual section, but the Q&A with Christ is one of the more trippy parts of our.
Crystal found it, or I'm pretty sure this is what I'm talking about. But again, totally different stream.
Yeah, water. Yeah, water. I the total water on Mars, I too get. I believe it. I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we've seen erosion features
Yes.
that occurred between photographs of rovers that we have on Mars. Like
Well,
the Curiosity rover took a picture of a cliff, and then it took a picture of a cliff 6 weeks later, and there were streaks on it that were not there before. That the best explanation we have is that chunks of ice formed and then melted.
But
Did it go underground and form an ocean by which actual Martians that inhabit the inner Mars, not inner Earth, but the inner Mars,
Yeah,
can
and
nourish
elevated to a
themselves?
new. Yeah, they elevated themselves to a new level of Christ righteousness that they then came and they settled Atlantis and they spread it all out, and then there was a catastrophe because, of course, as our
Because of the gates.
leader Thoth tells us, something about the space Hebrews.
Yeah, and Mars Hitler, who successfully found the inner Martians,
Yes.
unlike ours, loser.
I think you were doing really good, Maya, up until the point where you said the water goes into an ocean underground.
Underground.
After that, yes, after that, I don't know.
Look, I would totally do a stream on it next week. Don't make me.
Religion
right,
that we don't pay attention.
Well, it's all right. We're
gonna have to call it at some point.
Yeah, I was gonna say
we're not getting to the end.
We're not getting to the end. It's almost 2.5 hours, and at some point, we've got to let this night owl have a nap before he wakes up at the ungodliest of hours.
As little Ollie dog wakes me up 3:30 in the morning, you know. Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Let's see. What time is it now? It's almost 10 o'clock. So what? 5 hours? That's not bad. I nap during the day. I'm a napper.
All right. Why don't you tell everybody who you are, where to find you, what you have coming up this week?
Awesome. Hey, I am the amazing Super Chris. No one calls me that but me. I'm the host of the Daily Atheist Morning Show, The Damn Show, as it were. So you can find me at The Damn Show on YouTube. Come watch in the mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern. To usually stream for about an hour, a little over an hour. We do political talk and religious talk, left-wing, liberal, nutbag, atheist kind of thing. And then I also do long-form videos, the Evil God Monster of Abraham series. If you get over there, pop over and check out my Evil God Monster of Abraham series. I am going through the Bible book by book, chapter by chapter, and kind of going, this is why this is an evil God monster. So
that's in your actual videos, right? Like if you click on the video tab.
Yeah. If you go over and click on the video tab, yep, it's all in playlists. Click on the playlist, you can go right through all of them.
Okay, cool. Because I was looking for your daily shows, and do you hide those as soon as it's over?
I do, and the reason why is because it hurts my metrics, hurts my views, because what happens is we'll do the Daily Atheist morning show, and then
Mm-hmm.
somebody will come on and they'll if I leave it up there, they'll come on and they'll watch it tomorrow, right? And they'll pick it up, they'll watch like 2 minutes of it, and they'll go, oh, this is a replay, and they're not going to sit there and watch it for right. So they'll realize it's a replay, click out of it, and then I've got a bad metric, and it hurts my metrics.
Oh yeah,
So by
I
hiding,
totally
yeah,
do understand that.
I don't know how to. I don't know if I could share my screen, but if I could, I would show you. I've got more views in the past 2 weeks on my channel, just dropping long form videos, than the
Mhm.
entire year of the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I had Aaron Raw on the show. I had Seth Andrews. I had several big, huge people like that. Thank you,
Mhm.
Salt of the Red Earth. And still, with all that, if you look at my metrics, just 2 weeks of dropping long form videos of my Evil God Monster of Abraham series, and then the shorts that go with it has just so overshadowed the
Mhm.
Daily Atheist Morning Show, the live stream. You know,
Yeah, people. I can't take my videos down. I totally could not do that. I wouldn't have a channel. But yeah,
I got bingo.
I do under. You got bingo? Did
I
anybody else
did.
get bingo? Are you the only one who got bingo?
I don't. I gotta check the list. No, Hollyhock got bingo.
Uh-oh. Hollyhock. Woo.
Yeah,
there you go.
Um,
beautiful.
but yeah, no, I do. I don't know. I don't know if any, because I don't know if there's anybody else who does like, because I'm trying to think like maybe Bree. She's seems to have gone to sleep, but like yeah, people who do like hour plus streams, I suspect would find the same thing that you do.
Yeah.
Um, I
If I
do
leave my
get
streams up, it does hurt. It hurts my overall metrics
right,
later because
right.
now I just mark them as unlisted. I don't
Hmm.
mark them as private. And the reason why I do that is because if somebody wants to go see a show,
Hmm.
if they want to, they can. If they want to, and they go through all the effort to find the link and go see it, because the
Hmm.
link is still up, right? Then
Hmm.
they're probably going to sit and watch it. But
Right,
if I just
right.
leave it on YouTube and somebody pops and they're like, "Oh, this is last Tuesday's show," they're out, and my metrics go. It's an hour and 15 minute show. They
Hmm.
were in there for 15 seconds. What does that do to my metrics?
Yeah.
And so after every show, I hide that show so it's not viewed anymore, and I just continue to drop the long form videos. It's just been fantastic. I think I can. Can I show you my screen?
Yeah, you can. If you go to, there's a little like TV with an up arrow. It says
I see it. I want to do this one
share
here. I see
screen.
that one. I would looked up esoteric to make sure they were using it right. And let's go here to the studio, and I will show you awesome sauce. I've gained 10 subscribers just on this stream tonight, guys. Thank you very much. 10
Wow.
subs. That's great. So if we go here to my metrics, we can see that this is the last just like 2 weeks. This is when I started, as you can see, I started doing the Daily Atheist show, brought it back, right?
Hmm.
This is the live stream, nothing. This is the drop in videos. Like 241 subscribers just in the last 2 weeks
Yeah.
because of that. Now let's look at my Daily Atheist morning show here. This is the lifetime of my Daily Atheist morning show right there, the peak.
Damn.
Right? This is this past 2 weeks. See how it's way up here?
Wow.
I've gotten 24,000 views in 2 weeks.
You guys are showing out. Way to
Yeah.
go.
But the live stream does nothing. Nothing. I mean, I get just a fraction of the views. Maybe it's the time. You know, I really, if you watch the show, I put on a pretty well produced show.
You do. I have a
It-
lot of
yeah.
fun when I am able to watch.
When you're able to watch, yeah.
Right. It's 9 a.m. I have a lot of shit going on at work around that time. Um, it's not really a good time for me to watch at work.
No doubt. No. For a lot of people, for a
Yeah.
lot of people.
Yeah, I mean,
But there's
for me, it's 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's true. And then whenever I was trying to do the last morning show where I had guests every day, if they were in California or on the West Coast, it was hard.
Like I could do it. I would need like warning and stuff, but like if like I can do like because 6 a.m. that's actually not unreasonable. And whenever I do get up that early, I get a lot done that day, and it's great. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't blame people for being like, no.
Yeah, it's kind of a little too early, a little too early. Yep. But guys, I thank you all very much for having me on your show. I appreciate it. For those viewing, go over there and subscribe, and then watch my Evil God Monster of Abraham series. We were talking about some of the things that these guys are talking about in the Bible, Adam and Eve. Right now I've got 11 episodes up, which is 11 chapters of the book of Genesis, where I go through each chapter and I talk about this is why it's a God monster. It's look how evil this thing is. There are 10 chapters into it, and there's no love, no mercy, no music, no science, no literature, no art. It's just hate, incest, misogyny, violence, retribution, vengeance. Go check it out. It's a good series. Yeah.
I mean, anything with that much hate, misogyny, incest, and violence must be, right? I mean, Game of Thrones taught us that.
Yeah. So the Holy Bible all the way. A lot of people, for example, didn't know that Abraham was married to his own sister, and they also didn't know that
But he
Abraham
says it.
twice he tried to he gave away his wife's sister to another man, and that man took her as his wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that his son did the same thing?
Oh, no, I
Rude.
missed that part.
Yeah, his son did the same thing in chapter 26 of Genesis. His son, I can't remember his name right now. I think he takes Rebecca, his wife, and he does the same thing that Abraham did. We're going to a foreign country, and since you're so beautiful, they'll kill me if they find out we're married. So you pretend you're my sister.
Yeah.
And then
It's one of the
Foolproof.
most obvious examples of like copy pasting happening in
Yes. Thank you, Left-Handed Jedi. I very much appreciate it. I appreciate you all, guys. Thank you. I'm going to run away screaming. I'm going to go do evil, sinful stuff because I'm a sinner.
Fair enough.
No, you got a lot of.
I have-
Yeah, well, you told us you got 10, in addition to the ones that subbed last time I rated you. And I was looking, well, while you've been talking, I've been trying to look for people to rate, but nobody's on tonight again. So I guess we're all going to have to go to bed.
You're just going to have to go. Well, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night. Y'all stay safe. Come see me on the Daily Atheist Morning Show.
Absolutely. And
Hi, everyone.
Tab, do you have anything coming up?
I do not.
All right. Everybody, don't forget, come see me, Jay, Durante Lamar, tomorrow at Skeptic Haven, 8 p.m. Central, talking about whatever Jay wants us to talk about, I guess. And don't forget to vote and bring a friend. See you guys later.